Hello, WCBN listeners. My name is Amara Okoro, and I'm here with Lexi Gordon today on April 25th, 2026, as the Michigan Wolverines are taking on the University of Washington Huskies. Once again, my name is Amara Okoro, and I'll be here with Lexi Gordon this afternoon, giving you all some color and play-by-play analysis. Lexi, what are you looking forward to today on our stream?
The Wolverines had an incredible game yesterday against the Washington Huskies, winning 8-7 late in the ninth. They were down by 3 when Jun-Sung Park came up to the plate, came up as a pinch hitter and was able to get a walk-off double. Could have been a walk-off grand slam if it weren't for the wind and rain. Today it is a little bit cold too with some wind, so going to be interesting. For the Wolverines, the freshman Shane Brenham is on the mound. He's from Canada, and he has emerged himself as a Wolverines weekend starter late in this season. His first weekend start was a 7-inning shutout against Oregon, and he followed it up with 5 strikeouts in 6.2 innings at Michigan State. Interesting to see what the freshman can do. He holds a 4.11 ERA with 35 strikeouts in 35 innings. What numbers for him? On the flip side, for the Washington Huskies, the graduate student Jackson Thomas is going to be starting on the mound. He is from he's from Arizona, another transfer student. This Washington Huskies team is full of transfers, as well as very experienced players, most of them being juniors, seniors, and graduate students in the starting lineup. Whereas the Wolverines have a little bit of a younger, more inexperienced lineup. Going to be interesting to see what they can do today.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Wolverines matchup today, especially on the mound. Once again, like Lexi noted, the Wolverines starting pitcher today is, Shane Brenham, who, like she said, coming in as a freshman, a little bit of a different decision for Michigan, as they usually do try to stick to that traditional route using older players as we get underway here. Up to bat first for Washington is number 19, Jackson Hotchkiss, as we get ready for the first pitch here. He drills one right down the third baseline, but it's an easy one-out play for the Wolverines. What a throw all the way from from third right over to first to get that first out for the Wolverines.
Yes, the Wolverines' first baseman, Cade Latterhoff, is so good for them defensively, making incredible plays yesterday. Both teams struggled with their throws to first, both amounting with 2 errors yesterday. Hopefully they can fix that today.
Yep, as we get underway here, Michigan deals the first pitch. It's going to be in for a strike on batter Sam DiCarlo for the University of Washington. It's a right-handed batter in the box right now. One of those players that Michigan definitely has to be careful of and make sure that they're staying vigilant. As once again, the strike 2 is dealt for Michigan. Once again, Shane Brenham on the mound. A little bit of an inside pitch there. Washington not too happy about that call. As he deals that third strike, it's a 3-pitch strikeout for Brenham here, as we're now down Michigan with 2 outs at the top of this first inning.
Yes, batter number 3, Blake Wilson, the third baseman, comes up to the plate for the Washington Huskies. Shane Brenham doing so well so far for this Wolverines team. 2 outs, 0 on, with Wilson up to the plate. First pitch deals, and it is high for ball 1. 1-0 count, 2 out, 0 on base for the Washington Huskies. Brenham deals pitch 2. A few groans from the Wolverines crowd, as that one is also called high for ball number 2.
Up to bat for Washington is number 7, Blake Wilson, out of California. As Michigan deals another pitch, a little bit high and outside for Brenham. Trying to just get back in that rhythm as we're in a 3-0 count. This count is definitely in Washington's favor here. Just something that Michigan definitely has to look out for. So Washington is one of those teams that makes you work for every single out that you're going to get on them.
Brenham deals ball 4 to Wilson. He will take the free 90. As Ty Cowan comes up to the plate for the Washington Huskies. He played so well in yesterday's game against the Wolverines. The 5'10" senior from Washington comes up to the plate. Another transfer who has played in all 33 games this season, making 31 starts at second base, having 6 multi-game hits as Brenham throws it over to first. That was a theme we saw a lot yesterday in the game against the Huskies. Both teams very aggressive in their running, trying to keep him honest at first base. With the pitches dealt, it is called a strike. 0-1 count, 2 out, runner on first for the Washington Huskies. That one is dealt low, off speed. Count is 1-1, 2 out for Shane Brenham.
Sorry about that. We're having a little bit of sound trouble here. Just trying to figure out best way to make it easier for you guys to be able to hear us.
Brenham attempts to pick Wilson off at first again. Second pickoff attempt so far. Trying to keep him as honest as possible at first base. Wolverines playing pretty straight up right now. As that fastball is swung at by Cowan, 1-2 count, 2 out. Cowan fouls that one back, staying alive here. Still a 1-2 count. Cowan averaging .254 on the season. .313 with runners on base as Brenham attempts another pickoff at first, unsuccessful. Trying to keep Wilson as close to that bag as possible. Brenham tries to pick off Wilson again at first. That is 2 in a row for him. Brenham, a left-handed pitcher, can see Wilson very well on that first base side. Third pickoff attempt in a row. Brenham a little bit weary of Wilson at first, trying to keep him honest. He can see him so well, as I just said, being a left-handed pitcher. Much harder to steal on a lefty than a righty. Wolverines going with the left-handed pitcher after they pitched their ace Kurt Barr yesterday, the righty, struggling a little bit. Brenham finally delivers another pitch. It is a 2-2 count as that one is low and wide. Pitch number 6 of the at-bat coming up. Brenham delivers a strike to end the inning. 4 batters, and the Wolverines will be up to bat. What a great first inning for the freshman. Able to get only 1 runner on base after that walk.
Congratulations to Julie Manor.
Issue for the Wolverines yesterday, Kurt Barr, their ace, threw a lot of pitches, and hopefully that will not be the case for Shane Brenham. Hopefully he can make it longer into this game. Throwing 14 pitches, decent numbers so far in that first inning, as the Washington Huskies take the field. As I spoke about earlier, they are going to be coming out with their righty, Jackson Thomas, the graduate transfer He played his junior year at Utah Valley, played his senior year at Washington. So far this year, he owns a 7.16 ERA with 27.2 innings pitched, 26 strikeouts on the year. And on March 7th against Indiana, he tossed 7 innings with no earned runs, 3 hits allowed, earning his first win of the season. Thomas warming up on the mound right now for the Huskies.
Thank you for bearing with us as we try to fight through these technical difficulties. Once again, as Lexi was saying about our Washington pitchings, the Washington pitching storylines, they're one of those teams that is better at throwing strikes and actually in the zone and making those batters swing compared to the rest of the conference. But on the other hand, that Michigan team, as we saw here at the top of the first inning, Michigan is one of those teams that is going to attack the zone early and make those batters swing rather than sitting by and not doing anything, making sure that they're getting those batters early, getting those early outs as they just sit there.
Up to bat for the Michigan Wolverines is going to be Cooper Mullins, the designated hitter, averaging .315 on the season. A little bit surprised that Jun-Sung Park is not starting for this Wolverines team. He's been playing so well over these past 6 games. As I said earlier, he hit that walk-off double to win against the Washington Huskies yesterday. A little bit surprised he didn't get the nod. Cooper Mullins on the plate right now. He's also playing really well this season, as the count is 2-0 in favor of Mullins. Thomas delivers. It is low. 3-0 count.
Mullins, the designated hitter for Michigan, as he takes another pitch, it will be the 4th pitch of the at-bat, and he's jogging right down to first. It's a great at-bat for him, being able to stay aggressive in the zone and make sure that he's protecting the plate while also being a smart batter. Next up to the plate for Michigan is going to be number 14, Colby Turner. Transfer out of San Diego State, the second baseman with an average of .399 with the team leaders here, and on-base percentage of, or excuse me, a slugging percentage of .667.
Yes, Colby Turner has played both at second base and in the outfield this season, as Thomas delivers one low and outside. 1-0 count. Colby Turner, as I was just saying, has played both at second base and in the outfield this season, getting the start at second today.
As he skies one up down the first baseline is Washington player number 12. As Washington is able to make that.
Taggart, the first baseman, going over to make that play for the first out in the inning, right on the netting, near the first base side. Up to the plate now for the Wolverines, a 3-hitter, Noah Miller. The catcher, batting .295 on the season.
As Washington gets ready to.
First pitch is called a strike, 0-1 count, runner on first for the Wolverines, 1 out in the bottom of the first. Small lead at first for Mullins as he is attempting to steal, and he is safe. Throw a little bit errant from the catcher, Ethan Swidler, from behind the plate, and Mullins is able to make it to second safe on a little bit of a slower run than I would have liked to see from him.
Not very typical of him, as he is one of those players that is quicker on that Michigan team. So there are not as many stolen bases on the season as many people would like to see, since he is one of those faster runners. But still a great effort and great way to get a runner in scoring position for the Michigan team. As Washington, I believe, called for a replay and wants to check to make sure that runner was actually safe. Michigan doesn't look too worried in their dugout, but obviously it never hurts to double check, try to get that challenge and make it worth it for the Huskies here.
Yes, and a quick Michigan softball update. Michigan softball team is playing Indiana currently, losing yesterday 4-8. Currently down again 2-0 in the top of the first inning over there.
Right across the way from us, yeah, Michigan softball doing a great job at just trying to make sure that they're keeping their spirits up, as they had a little bit of a rocky past few weeks, as they haven't been on the best streak that they've seen all season. Trying to keep up their spirits though, playing that that in-conference rival of Indiana, trying to fight and maybe get that spot in the tournament, but it doesn't look as hopeful as they would like, as the umpires run back on the field for baseball. Mullins is declared safe at second.
Got word that it was a little bit of a tough call there, a little bit more 50-50. Usually that does go to the runner. They're going to leave that for the Wolverines. Mullins is on second.
Up to bat for the Wolverines is number 4, Noah Miller, the catcher. As Washington, as Thomas steals the third pitch of the at-bat.
And that one is going to be low. A low fastball for ball 2. Count is 2-1, 1 out. Runner on second for the Wolverines in the bottom of the first inning.
Thomas steals. And Miller does a foul tip as it goes straight back into towards the Washington dugout. Trying to shake some jitters out here, try to straighten that out so that Michigan can hopefully take advantage of having a runner in scoring position. And especially someone as quick as Mullins on second, you definitely want to make sure that you're making sure that he's getting all the way around and getting that lead early. Thomas steals. Once again, fouled off by Miller, this time down the third baseline. So a little bit more straightening it out there, but still hoping to get that maybe towards that gap between the second and first baseman out there so that they can score.
A lot of the Wolverines' hits yesterday in their game against the Huskies went right down the middle, something that they're looking to do again. We're able to split their second baseman and shortstop a lot. That's where they were really able to find success. Wolverines doing really well at small ball so far this year. A lot of bunts, well placed. Going to see if that's what they continue to do. As Miller hits that one right to the third baseman for an easy out.
It's a good move by Washington's third baseman, Blake Wilson. He was able to check Mullins to make sure he's not thinking anything to pull and get that Michigan extra run in. But so now there's 2 outs. Once again, it is the bottom of the first inning. 2 outs. We are tied at 0-0. Michigan trying to make something shake out of this situation as Braden Jeffers comes up to bat.
Jeffers, the cleanup man, played really well against the Huskies yesterday. Hopefully he's able to get something going with a runner on second for the Wolverines. As Thomas still deals the first pitch to Jeffries, and it is high for ball 1. Another off-speed pitch for Thomas. That one worked really well against Miller to get him out. Deals, and that one is chopped. Going to be ruled foul for Jeffries. 1-1 count, 2 out. Runner on second for the Wolverines in the bottom of the first inning.
Something that Washington has to keep in mind as they're getting ready to deal their next pitch here is that it's a they nationally are solid in strikeouts to walk ratios. So making sure that they're making sure that they're keeping Michigan in those tough situations.
That one is rocketed by Jeffries. Going to be a double and going to score Mullins from second. Rocketed down that first Wolverines now up 1 in the bottom of the first. Great
Jeffries.
two-out double for Jeffries.
Jeffries with great two-out double from him. A way to keep that Michigan spirits up. Hopefully get a rally going here early in the game. Once again, that's something that Michigan's really good at, is attacking early, shaking up their opponents, making them get off speed, switching up their game plan and getting those runs in. So it's a great job by Jeffries to keep that effort up.
Great for the Wolverines to be striking first after their game yesterday. That is Jeffries' 7th double on the season, as the first baseman, Cade Ladehoff, comes up to bat for the Wolverines. Pitch is dealt, fastball down low, 1-0 count, 2 out, runner on second. Wolverines yesterday were able to get a lot going with 2 outs on the board, something that they've been able to take advantage of so far early in this game. Second pitch is dealt, swinging, 1-1 count on Ladehoff. Wolverines struggled early in yesterday's game, getting their bats moving. They were able to score most of their runs in the second half yesterday in the 5th, 7th, and 9th innings. Great to see them able to get something going early here. As Thomas deals another ball, 2-1 count, 2 out, runner on second for the Wolverines.
As Thomas gets ready to deal his third pitch of this, or excuse me, his fourth pitch of the at-bat. That will be fouled off by Cade Ladehoff. Right down that third baseline, just kind of straighten it out to get those runs in, hopefully get this rally going, keeping Michigan's spirits up and adding on to this lead here.
Ladehoff batting .259 on the year, 24 RBIs, 4 home runs, playing in 38 games, starting 34. So the pitch is dealt and he goes down looking to end the inning. Decent first inning by both pitchers. Don't love to see that one on the board if you're the Washington Huskies. But great to see your pitcher get out of that one as the Wolverines coming back to the mound. Shane Brinham playing really well in that first inning. Throwing 14 pitches. Getting 2 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Something that this Washington team has to keep in mind here is that this is an explosive lineup, but also Michigan has to keep in mind that as well. Making sure that they're once again attacking those batters early in the count, getting that deep into those counts, making sure that they're taking advantage of being ahead. But also making sure that when the Huskies are on base, they are known to steal. They lead the Big Ten in triples, and they create pressure within the gaps and have aggressive base running. So Michigan, if they want to keep this lead up, has to keep those things in mind, but also making sure they're not making any defensive errors to give Washington an extra edge.
Yes, as you said, that's the advantage of Michigan starting a left-handed pitcher here in this one. Much harder to steal second on the lefty. We saw multiple pickoff attempts from Brenham early in that first inning. Up to bat for the Washington Huskies, though, is going to be the senior outfielder Aiden Doherty, averaging 189 on the season. He is another transfer for this Washington Huskies team. So far in his senior year, has been featured in 20 games, making 9 starts, and has 5 hits, including 1 double on the season. He transferred from UConn in his junior year, playing at community college for both his freshman and sophomore seasons. As I said earlier, that's really a theme for this Washington Huskies team. Almost their entire starting lineup is transfers. So great to see them attack the portal and do so well. And I believe it's only their 2nd season in the Big Ten, and Coach Eddie Smith's 2nd season with the Huskies, doing so well last year. Projected to finish 17th in the Big Ten preseason poll, ended up finishing 5th in their inaugural Big Ten campaign, and were able to reach the conference tournament. As Brenham deals a ball for pitch number 1 against Aiden Doherty.
Once again, Brenham attacking the mound, getting those batters shaken up a bit as he deals that first ball. That second pitch is also going to be a ball, a little bit outside of the zone. Doherty not too phased, taking a couple practice swings, hopefully kind of shake it off, looking for a pitch to swing on here and actually make something out of this at bat. Doherty, it does have a batting average about 333, so he's definitely able to do something. As that next pitch does go in for a strike. Brenham having a little sigh of relief here as he figures his spot out. He deals the next pitch. That's skied all the way down the first baseline and out of play. So the count is now 2-2, no outs, once again in the top of the second inning. Michigan, pitching for Michigan is Shane Burnham. At bat for Washington, Aiden Doherty, the senior. As Doherty will go down on strikes.
Burnham with his third strikeout of the day so far. What an incredible start for the freshman early here in this one. As the sixth hitter, number 6, Lincoln Young, coming up to bat. The only freshman in the lineup for this Washington Huskies team, bats right, averaging 239 on the season. First pitch is dealt, and it is going to be hit high to the center fielder.
Evan Hager is able to haul that one in, saving a few heart attacks. It's a 2 up and 2 down so far in this top of the second inning for Michigan.
There's some decent wind here in Ann Arbor today, but mostly clouds, no sun, not as hard to track those balls in the air. Maybe some movement, as I said, with the wind, but nothing to block their vision looking up. Easy play for Hager there in center. Bringing up Mick Paul to the plate for the Washington Huskies. Paul, the junior center fielder, batting .238 on the season. Brenham deals his first pitch. It's a ball, 1-0 count, 2 out in the top of the second, 0 on. Brenham deals second, outside, 2-0 count. Mick Paul, another transfer, as I continue to say, for this Washington Huskies team, transferring from LSU, now in his junior season. Third pitch is going to be called a ball as well for Shane Brenham. 3-0 count, 2 out. As I was saying, Mick Paul played his freshman year and then redshirted at LSU. Played his sophomore year there as well. Now as a junior, has appeared in 32 games, making 31 starts, all at center field. Leads the team in walks, 20, and stolen bases, 10. As finally Brenham gets a strike, 3-1 count on Paul, 2 outs, no runners on. As Paul skies 1-2 right, making the play is Dane Morrow for the Wolverines.
Washington still hitless as we enter this bottom of the second inning. Once again, Michigan is up 1 run. Washington still nothing as we enter the bottom of the second. Inning. It's a great way for Michigan outfielders to track down that ball twice in those back-to-back hits. First one skied almost over the fence in the center field, and the second one also similarly.
Yes, also a great start for the young freshman Shane Brenham on the mound. Wolverines struggled a little bit more with their ace yesterday, Kurt Barr. Great to see Brenham doing so well early on in this game. Not throwing too many pitches. Exactly what you want to see if you're the Wolverines. Brenham throwing 25 so far, 14 strikes, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 0 hits. As the Wolverines bringing Evan Hager, the center fielder, up to bat, averaging .303 on the season. Bats left against this right-hander in Jackson Thomas. Hager, the 6th hitter, the sophomore for this Wolverines team. making a play already at center so far. Former top 200 national recruit. He has experience at all 3 outfield spots for the Wolverines and brings speed and situational hitting abilities. Hager, the redshirt sophomore out of Michigan, coming up to the plate to face Jackson Thomas. Wolverines up 1-0 in the bottom of the second. After that, 2-out double by Braden Jeffries. Thomas deals the first pitch. It is a fastball and a strike right down the middle. 0-1 count on Evan Hager. That one is going to be low and inside for ball 1. 1-1 count, 0 out.
Michigan here looking to add to their lead as Hager gets ready to take another pitch from Thomas. He deals. Hager skies one high, splitting the outfield, third baseman and shortstop, but it will be hauled in by shortstop. DeCarlo on Washington, able to haul that in, stop Michigan from hopefully getting another run or getting a runner in scoring position.
Great play by the senior, Sam DeCarlo. Everyone running to that one for the Washington Huskies, as that will be the first out of this inning. Josh Campbell up to bat for the Wolverines. Freshman takes ball 1 out. Put in a lot of stressful hitting situations yesterday. It usually came up to the plate with bases loaded or multiple runners in scoring position, as he's dealt strike 1. 1-1 count, 1 out for the freshman.
Campbell out of Bloomfield Hills, so hometown hero here in Michigan for him, as he will get ready to take another pitch from Thomas. It will be outside. Thomas not pitching his best start today. Definitely looking to get a few more pitches in that strike zone rather than having those balls, but doing a great job of getting Michigan to swing and try to go out a little bit outside their usual zone. As he will deal his next pitch, it will be called for ball 3. The count is now 3-1 with 1 out. Beautiful pitch there though, hitting 86 miles per hour, a bit higher on that speedometer than usual.
Thomas deals pitch 5 of the at-bat, and that one is chopped right to the second baseman, unable to make that play. Not too hard of a hit ball, but Washington Huskies, Sam DeCarlo at shortstop, unable to come up with that one. Could potentially, yes, it will be ruled in error for the shortstop, Sam DeCarlo.
DeCarlo, one of those players on this Washington team that they do look for to be a leader and be one of those defensive players who's key to this game, so it's a bit of a character for him to be making these small mistakes, but it happens every time, or it happens to everyone.
I completely agree. He was named to D1 Baseball's top 50 shortstops, coming in at number 42, so very uncharacteristic for Sam DeCarlo.
Thomas tries to nail Campbell on first for a second time. Campbell, though, quick to slide back in as he dives for the bag. He's marked safe, though.
As I said earlier, this is very characteristic of what we saw in the game yesterday. Both pitchers trying to pick off that runner at first multiple times. Right-handed pitcher, much easier to steal second, as we've already seen that so far.
As Thomas will deal a strike to Morrow. Morrow to bat here, a left-handed batter with a .240 average. And a slugging percentage of .480. He hasn't had any success yet today as his first plate appearance, but he's looking to add something to this Michigan team here. As he'll send one And Washington makes a beautiful stop here. Diving for the ball is Ty Cowan to get that quick out right there at second. But fielder's choice, it will be ruled a fielder's choice as Campbell is tagged out at second and Morrow is going to be safe at first.
As you said, great play by Cowan to get the leadoff runner there for the Wolverines. Both teams struggled, as I said earlier yesterday, with errors. Good to see him make that play at second with the diving shuttle pass over to shortstop Sam DiCarlo after his error.
That was a great way to recover from the arrow. Thomas steals his first pitch of this at-bat against number 8, Drew Culberson for Michigan.
Culberson, the 9-hitter, played decently well yesterday. Surprised to see him at that 9 spot. Only batting .195 on the season, though.
So this next pitch is called for a ball, so the count is once again 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning.
Culberson is an experienced Power 5 infielder with significant starting experience.
He takes a big swing for this next one. It's called a strike. A bit outside. It's a great job by Thomas to get those Michigan batters swinging early here. Stance is a bit more far back in the box than usual. Hopefully trying to account for Thomas's speed on the mound, coming off the mound. So that next pitch is called strike 3.
Culberson goes down looking, striking out in the top of the second inning. Excuse me, at the bottom of the second inning. Zeros on the board in the second for both sides. Wolverines still up 1-0. Going into the third, bringing back out freshman pitcher Shane Brenham here. 1 hit for the Wolverines, no hits for the Huskies. 1 error, though, for the Huskies on that mishandled ball from Sam DiCarlo over at short, allowing the Wolverines to have a runner on first.
Michigan here just trying to recover, keep this Washington team as limited as possible. So as we talked about before, when Washington is on the base, when Washington has base runners, they are a threat to Michigan, as we did see that happen yesterday in a couple situations. But Michigan also a team that's able to quickly recover and come back from their mistakes. The rest of the team takes the field as Brenham is still warming up on that mound. We're still waiting to see Washington come out of that dugout, but Swidler will be up to bat first for Washington.
Yes, would love to see Brenham go as long as possible in this game. Both bullpens struggling a lot yesterday, giving up the majority of the runs for both sides. And always good to see your starting pitcher playing so well through the first 2. Hopefully he can hold this one up and be able to get as deep as possible, given that Wolverines have a 3rd game against the Huskies tomorrow. Wolverines really in a must-win situation here, as they're currently projected to be the first team out of the tournament. It would be great to see them get a series win here, even a series sweep. Wolverines posting their first series sweep in the Big Ten just a few days ago against the Northwestern Wildcats, as Ethan Swidler comes to the plate for the Washington Huskies from San Diego, California. Another transfer for this Huskies team. Pitch 1 is far outside for Brenham. Ball 1, 1-0 count.
As Lexi was saying, Michigan really looking to get into that NCAA tournament this year. So last year, Swidler takes a big swing and it's foul all the way down. All the way down that first baseline. It's going to be out of play for everyone over here. But like we were saying, Michigan still on the bubble, looking to get in this tournament after their loss earlier this week against Miami, Ohio. They were hoping to win there, hopefully get a couple extra points, but this series sweep would really be in their favor. Swidler takes one straight down the 3rd baseline, but is hauled in easily by Jeffries and then picked up by Ladhoff to get that first out here of the inning.
A little bit of weird bounce there for Jeffries, able to field that one cleanly and over to Ladhoff for the first out of the inning. As Kason Taggart comes up to bat for the Washington Huskies, he played really well yesterday, surprising to see him at that 9 spot. but hopefully he can get something going. The graduate student, batting .202 on the season, he chops one to short. Wolverines able to make the play. Drew Culbertson throwing that one over Ladahoff to get the second out of the inning. Bringing up the top of this Washington Huskies order, Jackson Hotchkiss up to bat again, 0 for 1 on the day, batting .352 on the season, 14 home runs, 36 RBIs. Let's see if he can get something going. 2 outs in the top of this third inning.
Washington still hitless as we enter this top of the inning. As it is going to be called a strike on Hotchkiss. There's a little bit of a debate here on if he went around or not for that bunt, but umpire said yes.
Check swing call. Third base umpire says yes, he did go, as that one is low. Ball 1, 1-1 count. Great job by the catcher, Noah Miller, to stop that one there. Played really well on defense yesterday too, with the struggling pitchers for the Wolverines side. That one is going to be singled and rocketed into right. Gonna be a 2-out single for Hotchkiss.
Washington's first hit of the day is coming here in the top of the third inning. It's great work by Hotchkiss to hopefully get something going, bringing up Sam DiCarlo, the senior for Washington.
Yes.
Hopefully also looking for his first hit of the game.
Yeah, as you said, the senior 0 for 1 on the day so far, averaging .299. This is exactly where the Wolverines thrived yesterday in their 2-3 hitter with 2 outs, as that one is going to be a little bit outside, but called a strike.
Washington dugout shaking their heads, saying that should have been a ball, but what can you do about it now? Brenham prepares to throw his next pitch of the at-bat. It is chopped up to the third baseman and swooped in by Ladahoff, stopping Washington from getting any more damage, ending the top of the inning. Washington still scoreless. Michigan up 1 run as we enter the bottom of the third inning.
Yeah, first baseman Kay Ladahoff having to do a lot of work for this Wolverines team. He's so good at that first, defensively on first for the Wolverines. They have so much trust in him, coming up with many big plays that you wouldn't expect.
Him having to stretch all 3 times here in this inning, and then a couple times in the previous 2 innings as well, really showing off that athleticism with a flash of the leather, but also making sure that he's getting that those throws are on target, especially from across the field. Third baseman for the Wolverines, doing a great job, as well as the shortstop on the Wolverines.
Yes, as you said, both Drew Culbertson and Braden Jeffries doing well for this Wolverines side. As I continue to speak about, both teams had a lot of errors yesterday, a few errant throws towards first, and so it is great to see them doing so well defensively. It's always so helpful to get a little bit of help defensively if you are the young freshman Shane Brenham. He has been playing really well though so far for this Wolverines side, dealing 34 pitches so far. Not too bad there, 21 strikes, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit through the third as the Wolverines coming up to bat.
Number 40, Cooper Mullins. So Michigan will be at the top of their order, hopefully entering this part of the order. Mullins at his last at-bat had a run. He was walked, and he ended up scoring the lone run for Michigan that they have so far. As Thomas prepares to deal his first pitch of the at-bat and of the bottom half of the inning. Umpire calls timeout. Resume play in just a moment here.
Mullins batting .315 on the season, batting .550 from leadoff, as the first one is going to be inside for ball 1.
Mullins, great player for Michigan to have up first in this batting order here, since he is one of those players that is able to attack early and, you know, try to make these Washington pitchers think and see where they should go next as he sets the tone for the rest of the order.
Yes, 1-1 count on Mullins as he fouls one down that third baseline. Gonna be a 1-2 count now. Wolverines want to try and extend these at-bats as long as possible. Try and get Thomas to throw many pitches, get taken out earlier, as they saw the Washington bullpen did struggle heavily yesterday, giving up all of their runs.
Yeah, that's definitely the strategy that Michigan's looking for today. As Thomas steals the next pitch of the at-bat, it will be called for ball 2. Count's going to be 2-2 with no outs in the bottom half of this third inning. As I was saying, Michigan trying to make sure that they tire this Washington team out early. Want to make them lose steam as they can hopefully take advantage. Mullins will send one back behind the stands here. Maybe somebody might get a souvenir, but it looks like it's just going to hit some of the buildings out there. But great job by Mullins to make this, to kind of extend this at bat, make the pitcher work for Washington. Hopefully get another pitcher in here as they change up innings in the next few minutes. Thomas steals.
High. Excuse me, it's a full count on Mullins here. 0 outs, great way to extend. Exactly what you want to see for your leadoff batter if you're the Wolverines. Hopefully he can work a walk. Hit would be even better. And he goes down swinging.
Not to discredit his at-bat, though. He did a great job of fighting in that box and keeping his head in the game. Washington not too shaken up by this Michigan lead, though it is only just 1 run. Washington is a team that does typically like to attack early and get on the board, not have to worry about it for the rest of the game, but a bit of a shift in momentum here with Michigan taking that early lead.
Yes, Colby Turner coming up to bat for the Wolverines. Second baseman has played so well, averaging .396 on the season. What an incredible start for him. His pitch 1 is dealt high and inside. Gonna be a 1-0 count, 1 out for the Wolverines.
Thomas did a great job of working this count into, you know, getting into those ball situations, but also making sure he's getting those strikeouts too, as we just saw. As Turner skies went right back towards us. A couple birds flee in fear. Can't blame him. He's hit hard.
Yeah, so 1-1 count, 1 out for Colby Turner right now. As I said, averaging .396 on the season. That's just so impressive. 10 home runs, 40 RBIs, and 15 doubles so far for the junior second baseman. Pitch number 3 is dealt. Colby Turner, big swing on that one. 1-2 count for him. A little bit of an off speed there, only hitting 83 on the speedometer. Pitch 4 is dealt, low and outside. 2-2 count.
Turner 0 for 1 today, so he's looking for his first hit. Once again, 2-2 count with 1 out in the bottom of this third inning. Michigan versus Washington. As Thomas prepares to deal this next pitch of the at-bat, he is going to hit Turner on his hand, and Turner's going to go down in pain, it seems like. Trying to stretch it out as that ball was thrown hard.
Yeah, as you said, Turner in some pain here. Not what you want to see for the star for this Wolverines team. Gonna trot over to first base now. Taking the free 90, seems to be okay. Still in some pain though, not what you want to see for the Wolverines. Waving off any treatment so far.
Turner's still walking down that first baseline, trying to check, look like he's checking out his hand, seeing it's a little red. Not yet dealing for Washington, making sure that Turner is going to be the runner that stays on base.
Noah Miller going to come up to bat for the Wolverines team. The catcher is 0 for 1 on the day so far, averaging .292 on the season. 19 RBIs, 2 home runs, 7 doubles so far on the season. Hopefully he can get something going with the runner on first and 1 out, as Thomas attempts to pick off Turner at first. Unsuccessful. Turner able to get back despite his injury so far. Seems to be okay. Very small lead off the bat, as one is Miller hits one down the middle to the center fielder. This is where the Wolverines were able to find their success yesterday, right down that middle. He's going to get into first for a single, advancing Turner to second. Runners on first and second, runner in scoring position for this Wolverines team. Great to see them hitting so well so far today, bringing up Braden Jeffries for the Wolverines. He is 1 for 1 on the day so far, averaging 338 on the season with 30 RBIs. He played so well yesterday. Hopefully he can continue to get something going as the cleanup man for this Wolverines team.
Yeah, it was a great job by Miller to split the infield here as he hit it right between the second baseman and shortstop for Washington. Kind of an impossible grab in any situation, but it was a great job by him to take advantage of the situation. Michigan not looking happy at Thomas, trying to pick off the runners on second and first.
Yeah, the shortstop, Sam DiCarlo, coming over to cover second base right now. As second baseman Ty Cowan more towards that first base side. As Braden Jeffries hits one down that third base side, but the left fielder, Jackson Hotchkiss, able to get that one easily for the second out of this inning, bringing up the first baseman, Cade Ladohoff for the Wolverines team.
Michigan unable to tag up there as they both runners did take quite a large lead, thinking that it might have gone the distance to go over the fence, but fortunately they were just a bit short. It's a great job by Hotchkiss to haul that in though and stop Michigan from doing any more damage on this team. Up for the Wolverines right now is Cade Ladohoff, the junior first baseman, who had quite some action at the top of this inning. Working off that momentum, hopefully he can get something going for this Wolverines as there's 2 outs. Thomas steals the first pitch of the at-bat and is going to be called for a ball. So once again, the count is 1-0 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Michigan is up 1-0 with 2 runners on base and a runner in scoring position.
The shift is on for this Wolverines team, shifting towards that third base side, excuse me.
Ladohoff seeing that shift, knowing that his target is going to be to split the second and first baseman, hopefully through that gap and out into the outfield so that Michigan has a chance of cutting this, taking more damage to this lead. It's going to be skied behind home plate as a fan in front of us is going to take a souvenir home from Ladohoff.
Yeah, I really thought that even Swiller for the Huskies would be able to grab that one. A little bit too far back over the netting for him. As Cade Ladohoff is at a 2-1 count, 2 outs, runners on first and second for him. Brady shift is on.
Once again, Ladohoff knowing his targets is going to be between that second and first base line here. Between second and first base. Hopefully trying to send a runner or 2 home as he skies one right up. It's going to be an easy play for third baseman Blake Wilson as him and catcher Ethan Swidler do have a little collision there on the base path. That'll wrap up the inning here.
Yeah, that was a really sweet embrace between the third baseman and catcher. I thought Swidler was going to take that one. However, Blake Wilson coming in from third to make the final out of the inning. Really cute hug there at the end for the 2. Really sweet after. Thought it was going to be a little bit of a scary collision there.
Yeah. It's always great to see baseball. I feel like baseball is one of those sports where the team environment says so much more about how you play compared to other sports. I feel like sports like basketball or even lacrosse and hockey, you can kind of have those 1 or 2 star players that can carry your team along. Baseball and softball are those 2 sports where it really is about a cohesive unit that's built. That was a great display of that teamwork right there on the field for Washington.
Going to be giving a quick Michigan softball update here. They are still down, but it is now 3-2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Wolverines. Wolverines have runners on first and second.
Janisa Conway at bat for Michigan, one of the leaders on the team, average of about 364, lefty batter. She hasn't had any success at the plate today, but looking to get something going for this Wolverine offense here.
Yes, as Brenham is back on the mound for the Wolverines. The Huskies bringing Blake Wilson to the plate, their 3-batter righty junior. 0 for 0 on the day as he walked in his first appearance in the first inning, averaging 296 on the season. Washington Huskies hoping he can get something going here. Shane Brenham, the young freshman, playing so well so far today, as we continue to speak about. 3 strikeouts, only 1 hit, throwing 34 pitches. Hopefully he's able to keep that pitch count low and extend into the 7th and 8th innings of this game.
And that's something that Michigan really did need to focus on today, was extending this pitch count from Brenham as he deals his first pitch for a ball on number 7, Blake Wilson, for the Washington Huskies. But as I was saying, Michigan trying to make sure that they can use Brenham as long as they can, because he is one of their best pitchers as he deals the second pitch of the at-bat. And Wilson fouls that straight back in the net. A little bit of friendly conversation between the Michigan and Washington dugouts here.
Yeah, as you said, Brenham, the new weekend starter for the Wolverines. Just over these past 3 weeks, he's emerged as one. That one is going to be called a strike for Brenham. 1-2 count for him. 0 outs in the inning against Blake Wilson, the junior, for this Washington Huskies team.
Yeah, Brenham, one of the star pitchers for this Michigan team, doing a great job as a freshman. As Wilson skies one and it is gonna be gone. Washington makes their first strike at Michigan here from Blake Wilson, number 7.
Yeah, the junior infielder playing so well for this Washington Huskies team. That is going to be his first home run of the season. Great for him to lead off this scoring. He was drafted in the 20th round of the 2023 MLB draft by the Kansas City Royals. He's not a transfer, one of the few players on this Washington Huskies team that started his career at Washington. The junior from California has appeared in 29 games this season, starting 24. This is going to be his 25th. Has 7 multi-game hits, has 20 hits on the season, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and now a homer. As pitch 1 of the at-bat is dealt to Ty Cowan. It's going to be a strike. 0-1 count as he fouls that one down the third base line. 0-2 count, 0 outs. We are tied here in Ann Arbor, 1-1.
Yeah, Jeffries has a little bit of a heart attack here as the last at-bat, same spot, batter hitting same spot, and we saw the result here as Cowan is going to sky another one down the third baseline and out of play for Michigan, giving the entire third base side of the field a little run for their money in these past few pitches here for Brenham.
Yeah, Cowan, the senior, another transfer, has many multi-game hits as that one is hit towards the first baseman, Cade Ladahoff. Gonna make that play easily, keeping that one for himself as it is chopped to him. First out of the inning.
Cowan,
excuse me, continue.
Cowan pulling that pitch in the opposite direction than he did previously. He kind of had that thought that he was gonna go down third baseline, maybe hit another home run, maybe just get on base, but great job by Michigan just to stop it early and get the out.
The right fielder Aiden Doherty up to bat as his first pitch is dealt a ball, 1-0 count. 0 runners on, 1 out. Brenham deals out wide for ball 2 against Doherty. The senior is 0 for 1 on the day so far, averaging .214 on the season. Not a big hitter for this Washington Huskies team, only with 2 RBIs on the season. As Brenham deals ball 3, 3-0 count in favor of the batter.
A little bit uncharacteristic of Brenham today since he has only had 1 walk. He'll come right back and deal his first strike of the at-bat. It's a smart move by Doherty. So he knows the count is 3-0. The likeliness of Brenham throwing another strike after that, not high. But Doherty will end up being walked as he tosses the bat towards Washington. Washington's dugout. Michigan not too happy about that call. Miller coming up to Shane Brenham on the mound and just trying to talk him through it and tell him to keep his head in the game, trying to figure out what's going on here and how he can get back to how he's pitching in the first 3 innings.
And I was just about to say, Miller trying to calm down his freshman pitcher here. He's been playing so well through the first 3 innings. Finally 1 run on the board for the Washington Huskies. Trying to tell him he is okay. Runner on first, 1 out.
Something that both teams you have to keep in mind, that they each only have 2 hits. This next at bat here from Young is going to be fouled off down the third baseline, but hauled in by Jeffries for Michigan, tossed back in the dugout. But each team only has 2 hits, so it really is anybody's game. Just that one run for each team as well. So both teams just trying to keep in mind here that this is really anyone's game, and there's advantages on both sides of the field.
Yeah, the freshman designated hitter up to the plate as Brenham attempts to pick off Doherty at first, unsuccessful. We continue to say it, pitcher's very weary of the steal. Attempting to pick off, the runners at first. Doherty with a little bit of a lead, not too big for him. Brenham deals 1, again chopped down that third baseline and fouled. For Landon Young, 0-2 count for him, staying alive here. We hear some cheers from the Michigan softball stadium. They absolutely erupt now as Brenham looks to deal his 4th pitch of the game. 0-2 count, runner on first, 1 out, dealing to the freshman designated hitter, Landon Young. Brenham deals, and he goes down swinging. What a pitch. A little bit high on that, but a great pitch to get Young out. For the 2nd out of this inning, cheers coming from everyone in the stands for this Michigan Wolverines team. Nick Paul is going to come up to the plate. The lefty juniors 0 for 1 on the day, averaging .237 on the season. Oh, a little bit of a bigger bat for this Washington Huskies team. 17 RBIs, 2 home runs, 6 doubles, and 2 triples on the season so far.
Paul's still 0 for 1 today as he takes that first pitch strike. Once again, it's an 0-1 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Score is going to be 1-1. Both teams tied. Brenham looking to close out this inning with another ball that he deals in. Counts now 1-1.
Pitch count getting up there a little bit for Brenham after this inning, throwing 50 pitches so far in this game. Not what you want to see if they're the Wolverines. Hopefully your freshman pitcher can finish out this inning. A much slower pitch there, only 76 miles per hour. Gonna get in there for strike 2 of the at-bat. 1-2 count, 2 out, runner on first.
Yeah, like Lexi was saying, this pitch count getting a little bit higher than they would like to see so far in this game. But still doing a good job at working these at-bats and getting them into his favor. As he deals his next pitch here, it's going to be a ball, so it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs.
Taking advantage of different speeds on those pitches, almost 20 miles per hour in between those 2 pitches.
Next pitch is going to be called a ball as well. Count is now full. Paul trying to see what he can do out of this situation. He knows that there's 2 outs with a runner on first. They're going on anything. No matter what Paul does, that runner on first, Aiden Doherty is ready to go on any contact that he sees. Paul is walked. And that'll be Brenham's 3rd walk of the game.
Yes, as you said, Brenham deals ball 4 to McPaul, getting runners on first and second for the Washington Huskies. 2 outs in the top of this 4th inning. Not what you want to see if you're the Wolverines, especially with this pitch count getting up there. nearing 60, throwing 56 pitches, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, as you said, but 4 strikeouts.
Not the numbers that you want to see from your pitcher. Though he is a freshman, it's still something that everyone here, obviously at Michigan, a school that's known for having premier athletic programs, something that you don't really want to see from your pitcher this early on in the game. But also knowing that there's still 5 more innings left, so still hope for Michigan. As he deals his next pitch, it's also going to be called for a high ball. Count now 2-0 with 2 outs. Runners on first and second, ready to go on any sort of contact. This Michigan's going to call time and do a little meeting on the mound with the infield and the catcher, just trying to shake Brenham out of whatever slump he's in here, as his last 5 pitches have been balls.
Yes, head coach Tracy Smith for this Wolverines team. He's in his 4th year as the head coach for the Wolverines. In the past month, he's reached his 900th career win milestone, as well as his 100th career wins at the University of Michigan. Hopefully he can calm down this young freshman pitcher for the Wolverines. Wolverines have no one warming up in the bullpen as expected so early on in this game. Hopefully Brenham is able to get that out here. 2-0 count on the catcher, Ethan Swidler. The senior is 0 for 1 on the day, averaging .238 on the season. As Brenham deals another ball, gonna be called inside for ball number 3 of the at-bat.
Michigan dugout not happy with that call, shaking their heads no, saying that it was probably a bit more over the plate than the umpire would have called it to be. But having to roll with the punches here, as Brenham is going to deal his next pitch of the at-bat, and it's going to be a 4-pitch walk for Swidler, loading the bases for Washington. Once again, 2 outs in this bottom of the 4th inning here. This is definitely the highest pressure situation we've faced so far in the game. But Washington, a team that's able to make sure that they make those plays out of these situations where they have an advantage and have this leverage. I would say that this is the first time that Washington has a true edge up on Michigan here in this whole game.
As Jason Dyer coming to the plate for the Washington Huskies, the first baseman. The graduate student played really well yesterday. As Brenham deals the first pitch, and it is going to be called a strike right over the plate for Brenham.
That's his first strike that he's thrown in almost 8 pitches. So it's a really good moment for him, just kind of seeing as a pitcher will head in to the bullpen here and start warming up. Just trying to get Brenham to finish off this inning as he deals the second strike of the at-bat. Michigan dugout is alive. His fans in the stands are alive, hoping for this inning to get over with.
Yes, for the Washington Huskies. Getting word from Lightning Source that this is exactly the matchup that we want to see for Brenham to hopefully be able to win the inning. Offensive timeout. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-2 count on the 9-hitter Casey Tiger. First baseman for this Washington Huskies team, averaging .202 on the season. Pretty low average, but as I said, he played really well yesterday, homering to deep right field in that second inning.
Yeah, Washington calling that timeout there, hopefully to shake up Michigan's momentum. Crowd is alive, everyone's alive in the stands. Both dugouts are on their feet, clapping and cheering, hoping for their team to come out on top in this inning. Like I said earlier, this is definitely the highest pressure situation of the whole game. Brenham deals. It's going to be a ball outside. Michigan fans erupting in boos here. Can't blame them. The ball did look a little outside, but wanted Taggart to come around here as the graduate student is back up in this box here. Brenham getting ready to deal this next pitch of the at-bat. Once again, the count is 1-2. As that's a called strike 3. Taggart will go down. Looking. Michigan cheering. Fans in the stands are on their feet. It's a great day for Michigan baseball here. They just got out of this toughest situation they've had here yet in the series.
Yeah, as you said, everyone erupting in cheers yesterday.
All right,
Wolverines
and our
weren't
next
too
prize
happy
is
with the umpire at home plate. They were losing pretty much all of the 50-50 calls. None of them going away for the pitchers. Umpire at home plate seems to be a batter-friendly umpire. It is 9 every inning winning for the Wolverines here today in Ann Arbor. Different prizes being given out to fans, keeping them engaged throughout the entirety of this game. As Jackson Thomas looks to take the mound again for the Washington Huskies, playing well so far. Boasting 7.71 ERA on the season. 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts with 52 pitches so far on the day. Wasn't a great inning for the Wolverines pitcher, Shane Brenham there. Now his pitch total is up to 64, much higher than we would like to see it, but he was able to get out of that bases loaded jam with only 1 run earlier in the inning. So we're tied here in Ann Arbor going into the bottom of the 4th. Coming to bat for the Wolverines is going to be Evan Hager, the center fielder, averaging 300 on the season. 1 at bat so far for him today. 0 for 1 as he will lead off this inning, a 6-hitter for the Wolverines. Lefty soft.
Thomas comes up to the mound again as he's looking to finish off his 4 innings this year. Michigan also looking to hopefully get Brenham back in the game after he got out of that jam that he was in. But still looking to get those pitches and maybe shake up this Washington team next time that they're up at. Thomas deals and Hager. A big swing from Hager as that'll be strike 1, the count being 0-1.
As you said, 0-1 count on Hager. Would love to see him get on base here as the shift is on for the Washington Huskies. Hager fouls 1 back. As I said, the shift is on for this lefty batter, Evan Hager. Hopefully going to take advantage of the massive gap down that third base line.
Yes, as Lexi said, the shift is on. So he is angling that bat more towards that third base line.
That one bounces far in front of the plate for Thomas. Gonna bring the count to 1-2, 0 outs. That one bounced really far in front of the plate, not even close.
Looks like it's gonna be scored as a wild pitch. Washington catcher Ethan Switzer has to go to the dugout and get another ball for Washington to play with. Michigan softball erupting in cheers again. Looking to get a score update. The score is now tied 3-3. Michigan driving in a run here in the past couple minutes as this team is erupting too.
Shifted perfectly the Washington Huskies. The second baseman, Ty Cowan, gets Hager out at first, throws him out, very routine play. The freshman now, Josh Campbell, coming up to the plate. 0 for 1 on the day, averaging 212 on the season.
Excuse me, Michigan softball is going to be up, actually, 3-4 after a Maddie Ramey homer to center field, tipping this score now into their favor as they enter the bottom of the 4th inning.
Josh Campbell
no
showing
outs.
the bunt. Gonna be bunted back behind the plate for him. As I spoke about earlier, Michigan baseball playing really good small ball typically. In that game against Bowling Green just a few days ago, they were able to lay down some pretty perfect bunts and score some runners. Hopefully they're able to do that again today, as Josh Campbell showed a bunt for his first pitch of the at-bat, fouling 1 back. Now the count is going to be 0-2 with 1 out.
Campbell during Campbell's first at-bat, he walked to first and then was almost picked off a couple times over there. So Washington, if he's on base, Washington looking out for those keys there, making sure that Campbell's not a threat on the base path for them.
Huskies playing pretty straight up for Campbell as he goes down swinging.
There'll be 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Once again, Michigan and Washington tied here at 1, bottom of the 4th inning. 2 outs as Dane Morrow is up for the Wolverines. 0 for 1 on the day. 2 home runs this season and 3 RBIs, so not a power hitter, but still somebody that's able to make some magic happen on this field.
Exactly as you said, the back-to-back freshmen in the lineup today for the Michigan Wolverines. As Thomas delivers the first ball of the at-bat, 1-0 count, 2 outs, no runners on base. Playing pretty straight up for this Washington Huskies defense, as that is going to be called ball 2.
Are a great batter in this box, smart hitter, and a smart runner on the base path as well. So once again, another threat for Washington if he's able to get on base. As Thomas goes to deal his next pitch, and it'll be fouled off by Morrow. Straight back, a little bit more towards that Washington dugout as Coach has to run out and pass that ball over to Michigan. Goes perfectly in the dugout. Wow, maybe he should get on the mound.
Thomas is kind of all over the place with his pitches, throwing a mix, 2 sliders, now another little bit lower on that speed total, throwing only 77 this pitch, 83 the past 2. And it'll be a 2-2 count here, 2 outs, no runners on for the Wolverines. As Washington Huskies defense is going to shift over for the lefty.
Once again, Washington putting that shift on, knowing that Michigan is one of those teams that does tend to pull more towards that right side of the field, as Thomas's next pitch is going to go in for a ball. So the count is now full. 3-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. No runners on. Dane Morrow, the freshman right fielder, at the plate for Michigan. Thomas deals, and Morrow is going to foul that pitch off and stay alive in that batter's box. It's a great job by Morrow to stay alive and keep fighting here for Michigan, hopefully try to get something going for this team, tack on a couple insurance runs for them, and get that lead back ahead of Washington.
Yeah, as you said, great at bat so far for the 8-hitter on this Michigan Wolverines team. Full count, staying alive there with 2 outs in this inning, as he fouls another one right over the Washington Huskies dugout. Gonna stay alive here again, making Thomas get that pitch count up here in the 4th.
Morrow doing a great job at adapting to Thomas's kind of all over the place pitching. He just fouled the one that he just previously fouled was really low and inside. Before that was a bit more high and outside. So a great job by him as he hits right into the shift. It'll easily be fielded by second baseman Ty Cowan and passed on over to Taggart at first to end the inning and get that 3 outs. Once again, Michigan 1, Washington 1 as we enter this top of the 5th inning.
Shift has been working really well for this Washington Huskies team so far, able to help their pitcher out defensively. As you said, he's throwing kind of all over the place. Shane Brennan back on the mound for the Wolverines side. The freshman struggled a little bit last inning. Higher pitch count than he would have liked, now at 64 pitches to start off this 5th inning. 5 strikeouts on the day, 4 walks, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 homer there. That's how the Washington Huskies scored their only run of the day so far.
Washington.
Excuse me, you go.
Sorry. Washington, once again, trying to look to add on to their runs here. As Lexi was saying, they only had that 1 run here hit earlier in the 4th inning. Just 1 solo home run, trying to get those runs on here as Michigan brings up Shane Brennan again. The freshman thought they were going to put another pitcher in, as somebody did enter the bullpen earlier, but after that performance to shut down Washington in that bases loaded situation at the end of the 4th, it was a great job and really proved his candidacy here.
Yeah, the Wolverines can't really afford to put a bullpen pitcher so soon in this game, having another game against the Washington Huskies tomorrow. This going to be away at Maryland for their next series, then playing at Xavier, one game, little mini series in between, then going to Minnesota, another Big Ten matchup, and then finally ending with then at Ohio home, and then ending their year with a series at home against their biggest rivals, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Brenham deals his first pitch, and Hotchkiss takes a big swing as he'll be in for strike one. It was a great pitch by Brenham, a little bit of a sinker here, and it started off a bit higher and then ended up lower, throwing Hotchkiss off his game. It's a great job by Brenham as he deals his next pitch. Same pitch again, and Hotchkiss, same reaction. Once again, great work by Shane Brenham to make these Washington batters swing and get out of these situations where it is a bit tight for the tension here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that again, as this pitch is outside. Gonna be for ball one of the at-bat, 1-2 count on Jackson Hotchkiss, back at the top of the order, for this Washington Huskies team. The sophomore batting .358 on the season as he skies that one. Hopefully going to be an easy play for first baseman Cade Latterhoff of the Michigan Wolverines, having to do a lot of work defensively for this Wolverines team so far. He is able to easily catch that for out one of the inning.
Once again, showing off this athleticism, as we saw in those previous innings where he was literally stretching to get those outs. It's a nice relief for him to have that easy out right there on the first baseline. Sam DiCarlo up for Washington, 0 for 2 on the day, batting .297. As that first pitch will be in for a strike. Washington not too happy with that, might have looked a bit outside from their view. But a great job by Brenham once again, showing that mix and showing his dynamics on the mound. He'll deal again. Small debate on if DiCarlo went around, but it's going to be ruled a no. So it's a 1-1 count with one out here in the top of the fifth inning. Once again, Michigan 1, Washington 1.
That one is hit down the first base sideline into the parking lot.
Just misses somebody's car, so a little sigh of relief from fans over here.
Yeah, Sam DiCarlo, the shortstop, going to be dealt a pitch by freshman Shane Brenham. 1-2 count, one out, as he fouls that one back to stay alive here.
I know we've talked about Brenham's ability to change up his pitches and give those batters a good mix, but it truly is one of the things that makes him one of Michigan's best pitchers, is his ability to mix up his pitches, shake those batters up and get them swinging those multiple times in this at-bat to get those outs. He deals again. It will be high and a bit outside, notching the count up here at 2-2. Once again, one out in the top of this fifth inning. Brenham prepares to deal his next pitch to DiCarlo. DiCarlo's gonna chop that one up right to the second baseman, and it's hauled in easily and tossed right over to Latterhoff to get the second out.
Yeah, changeup working on DiCarlo, chopping that one to second. As you said, easy play for Colby Turner over to Cade Latterhoff, again helping the Wolverines out defensively for the second out. Hopefully that'll give Shane Brenham just a little bit more confidence that his defense is playing so well today, even though that was a pretty routine play.
Yeah, but it's plays like that. As Brenham deals his first pitch, it's going to be in for a ball against Blake Wilson, but it's plays like that that really do show how well this team works as a cohesive unit. You know, it's not always those plays where Latterhoff has to stretch and has to make those tough calls in order to get those outs. It's those easy, quick outs that you rehearse every day in practice that really gets a good team going.
Yeah, Blake Wilson, the 3-hitter for this Washington Huskies team, had the home run to put them up in the fourth inning. 1-1 on the day so far, batting .302 on the season. Junior hopes he can get something going again here for this Washington Huskies team with 2 outs. That one is high and going to be in for ball 2. 2-1 count so far on Blake Wilson.
Michigan no shift on even after the damage that Wilson does, as he skies one over our booth here and it's beyond out of play for anybody. As I was saying, Michigan no shift on, even despite the damage that Wilson had done earlier in the previous inning. But third base and left field staying vigilant and making sure that they're aware that the ball is likely coming to him. Or maybe not, because he hits another one straight back and over our booth here.
Staying alive with that 2-2 count. Great at bat so far for Blake Wilson. As you said, 2 skied right in the same spot and foul. Wolverines, as you said, playing pretty straight up here. A lot of room between their shortstop and second baseman, as that one is hit into right, and it is going to be an easy play for the right fielder, Dane Morrow, for the Wolverines team.
A sigh of release from the Wolverines after Wilson's last at-bat, though. Skied in the opposite direction, still almost just as much power, but the wind just wasn't in his favor this time. But still a great at-bat for Wilson. Oh, as this fan just won an iPad. Congratulations, Sydney Perrin, for that free iPad. Man, I wish I won one.
I mean, I completely agree. Great gifts here from the Wolverines. A little bit concerned about Shane Brenham's pitch count so far in this game. He's been playing really well, only giving up that 1 home run in the 4th. Doing better in the 5th inning. His pitch count is currently at, I believe it was 80. Not what you want to see for the Wolverines. Maybe going to have to bring a relief pitcher in that 7th, depending on what happens at the top of the 6th inning. No one warming up for them. A little bit of movement in the Washington bullpen, but no one really fully warming up and pitching so far as they bring out their starter, Jackson Thomas, again, the righty, playing pretty well today. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts on the day, letting up that 1 double, which scored the run early in the 1st inning. He's coming out here and hopefully will pitch well for the Washington Huskies in the bottom of the 5th. Wolverines going to bring up Drew Culbertson, their 9-hitter, to start the inning. The junior is 0 for 1 on the day, batting only 194 on the season. Not great, but he is the 9-hitter for this Wolverines team.
So we're talking about pitch counts here. Thomas only at 67 pitches. So, as
he hits Culbertson, it looks like.
Or maybe it only hit the bat. Not sure what they're going to score that as, but Culbertson definitely a bit shaken up after that pitch is way more inside than he would have anticipated.
Yeah, Culbertson ducking on that pitch. Seemingly hit the bat, I guess. Well, 1-0. That one is going to be up and high. Ball 2 of the at-bat, 2-0 count. Great for Drew Culbertson. Not so great if you're Thomas. Want to get out in front for these Wolverine hitters as he's going to deal pitch 3 of the at-bat. Gonna be high again for ball 3, 3-0 count on Culbertson. Gonna have to get something in the zone on this 4th pitch.
Washington definitely not happy with that call. They thought it should have been called a strike. Nothing they can do about it now except come back and pitch to secure this out for them here, as he does deal the first pitch of the at-bat, making the count 3-1. Once again, a smart move by Drew Culbertson, not swinging on that pitch after seeing those previous 3 strikes in a row.
Yeah, hitting
or excuse me, 3 balls in a row.
Thomas is able to hit that top inside corner. As Drew Culbertson shows bunt, pulls it back. Gonna be a full count now on Culbertson. Great for Thomas to work back into this full count. 1 strike away from the out on Drew Culbertson, the 9-hitter for this Wolverines side.
Washington, though, as Culbertson is squaring around, Washington not really moving too much to come in and receive it. But it doesn't matter anymore. Culbertson is walked, drawing his first time getting on base of the evening, or excuse me, of the afternoon.
Yeah, that pitch was inside for Culbertson. Gonna bring up the top of this Wolverines batting order again. Cooper Holmes, who struck out in the 3rd, walked in the 1st, averaging 309 on the season. The redshirt sophomore bats lefty, so the lefty against this right-handed pitcher in Jackson Thomas for the Washington Huskies. runner on first, 0 outs in the bottom of the 5th. As Culbertson runs on that, ball is going to be perfectly played to the second baseman, but they were able to get Mullins out at first.
It's a great job and a great heads up base running by Culbertson to go as soon as the pitcher releases the ball, crosses that plate. He was off. Great work, able to stop that double play from happening there, because it would have been easy for Washington to get 2 and get that advantage up on Michigan. It's a great job by Michigan once again to stop it at only getting 1 out. Bringing up Colby Turner to the plate, who's 0 for 1 today, batting at .396.
Yeah, Turner's so impressive for this Wolverines offense. Gonna take ball 1 low there, 1-0 count, runner on second, 1 out on the inning as Cooper Mullins just grounded out to second base. As you said, great heads-up base running by Drew Culbertson to advance to second, keeping that lead runner for the Wolverines.
Michigan only 2 for 16 today at the plate, looking hopefully get that up to 3 for 16. Hopefully get that up to 3 hits instead of just that 2. But like we've said before, there's still a lot of game left, and that might be the 3rd hit of the game. Excuse me, I jinxed myself. It was fouled off by Colby Turner, but it was sky high. Went probably about 400 feet, so if we used to straighten that out, they'll definitely get Michigan some runs on that board.
Yeah, as you said, great contact by Turner there. One of the best hitters for this Wolverines team. 10 home runs on the season, 40 RBIs, and 15 doubles. Looking to extend that count here. Batting almost 400 on the season. He was hit by a pitch in his last appearance at the plate. 1-1 count on Turner as he hits that one just over the head of the shortstop, Sam DiCarlo. Runners on the corners now. That one was absolutely rocketed to Carlo, unable to jump high enough to get that one there.
Beautiful placement. Excuse me, yes, beautiful placement by Colby Turner to get it over that shortstop's head of Sam DiCarlo. And it's really smart but base running once again by Culbertson, watching his coaches and making sure he led up at third base to turn and look, because that Washington outfield is too powerful and they would have gotten that ball in on time and likely tagged him out. So great job by Culbertson to be a heads-up player.
Little meeting at the plate for the Washington Huskies with runners on the corners, runners on first and third. Wolverines getting another hit. That is going to be their 3rd hit of the day. The runner was in scoring position to keep that runner advancing towards third. Noah Miller, the catcher, up to bat. 1 for 2 on the day so far.
Miller, knowing that any contact that he has, it's not towards that third base direction, or even if it is towards that third base line, it's just right outside of the infield, he knows that he's going to tack on with a runner only 90 feet away. As Thomas steals, and it's going to be a low outside pitch. Miller not phased, but...
Some great defense by the catcher, Ethan Swidler there. To keep that one in front of him, no runners advancing there.
On first base, though, Colby Turner is aware that if he is to take second, that's basically a free bag for him, knowing that if Washington throws down, Culbertson is only 90 feet away and is right there for Michigan to take that lead right back.
Yes, Noah Miller not playing too far back in the box, not as far back as I would expect on that fastball. Moving a little bit further back now for this pitch, the 1-1 count, 1 out, runners on first and third in the bottom of the 5th as he swings, and that one is skied up, not what you want to see for the Wolverines. As looks like the first baseman, Casey Taggart, comes in to make the play there on that high hit ball. We said this earlier, all clouds in the sky here in Ann Arbor, really no sun, a little bit of wind, but not too tough of conditions to make that pretty easy play there. Bringing up the cleanup man for the Wolverines, Braden Jeffries, 1 for 2 on the day with that double in the first inning, which scored the only run so far.
Michigan looking to take advantage of having to take advantage of having that runner in scoring position. As Thomas deals his first pitch of the at-bat, it's going to be called for a ball. But Michigan trying to take advantage of having a runner only 90 feet away and making sure they can't add to their score and get the lead back that they haven't had for this inning.
That one's sky high for Thomas. Very small leadoff for Colby Turner at first. He is so good on stolen bases, having 10 so far this year, only caught stealing 3 times. The 76.9% stolen base percentage. I would be a little bit weary of him if I were Thomas. Just as I said, attempting the pickoff on Turner at first. 2-0 count, 2 outs to Braden Jeffries, the cleanup man, the sophomore third baseman for this Wolverines team, batting .335 on the season.
Jeffries a player that they definitely want to have at bat in these key situations, knowing that he's able to make something shake as he's going to sky one into center field. But it is going to be hauled in. A beautiful play from Paul in center field for Washington as he's going to grab that grab that ball and limit Michigan from scoring a run. But great contact from Jeffries, but even better play from Paul out in center field for Washington.
As you said, what a catch by Paul there in center. Would have loved for the Wolverines to have fewer outs there, as runners would have been able to tag up and score at home. But what a diving play there by Paul to keep it to zeros in the 5th inning for this Wolverines team. The freshman Shane Brenham still on the mound, number 30 for this Wolverines team. Ty Cowan, the cleanup man for the Washington Huskies, going to be up to the plate. Fourth batter, bats left. The senior is 0 for 2 on the day so far, batting .250 on the season.
Once again, the score is still notched up here with Michigan and Washington both at 1. Washington with 2 hits on the day, Michigan with 3. Washington with 1 error, Michigan with none, as we enter the top of this 6th inning here. As we enter the final few innings of this game, Lexi, what do you expect Michigan to do in order to get this lead back? Or what do you expect Washington to do in order to get a lead for the first time in the game?
I'm really hoping Michigan goes back to their small ball that I spoke about earlier. It's been working so well for them this season. I was expecting a few more bunts. We were showing them, but not successful so far for this Wolverines team. Hopefully they can get some more hits late in the game. This is where they excelled yesterday and were able to secure the win against the Washington Huskies in that close one yesterday. Would love to see a few pinch hitters for this Wolverines team. Interesting to see when and how good the bullpens pitch from both of these teams. Both starters still on the mound as we start the 6th inning. What you want to see. Shane Brenham's pitch count is getting up there for the Wolverines, throwing 80 pitches so far, so no one warming up currently for this Wolverines side. But it looks like the Wolverines might bring a catcher into the bullpen, get someone to start throwing there.
Now the Wolverines doing a great job as Brenham throws his first pitch. Will be fouled off by Ty Cowan from Washington.
Hard hit, by Cowan there, right down the first base line.
But like I was saying, Brenham doing a great job of protecting himself at the mound and making sure and limiting Washington really well and limiting their ability to get more than 2 hits in this game. So they only have those 2 here as he deals his second pitch. It'll be inside, called for ball 1. Once again with the count at 1-1. Still notched here at 1-1, Michigan versus Washington in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, an off-speed pitch by Brenham. Gonna deal his 3rd pitch, gonna be called for a strike. 1-2 count on Cowan here in the top of the 6th inning. No outs. Score still notched at 1.
We were saying with Brenham, since his pitch count is getting up there, it's a bit shocking to not see anyone even looking for equipment to warm up in the bullpen, but I guess that is what is going to happen when your pitcher is shown that they can succeed and thrive under these high-pressure situations, which we've seen in a couple of situations here for Brenham today. As he'll deal his next pitch, it's going to be outside for ball 3. The count is now full with no outs in the top of the 6th inning.
Yes, as you said, his pitch count is getting up there a little bit, but the Wolverines did let their starter, Kurt Barr, yesterday get into that triple-digit pitch count, throwing, I believe, 106 on the day yesterday. Brenham still has a few more in him as Ty Cowan fouls that one back, keeping the count full, staying alive here.
Yeah, like you were saying, getting those high pitch counts isn't something that Michigan is necessarily afraid of as they're nearing the end of their season here and trying to punch that ticket to get in to this tournament. It is something that they should be a bit more wary of because they want to save some energy for come May and June and hopefully make it to the greatest show on dirt.
Yeah, Cowan works the walk there, taking the free 90, trotting over to third base. Going to bring up Aiden Doherty here, batting .214, 0 for 1 on the day, the senior right fielder. Let's see what he can do with a runner on first and 0 outs. Finally, the Wolverines having someone warm up in the bullpen here. Smith gonna go out and talk to his pitcher. Hopefully gonna calm down the freshman. Tell him he is okay. Runner on first, 1 out. He can continue here. Wolverines look like they're going to have another righty come in. Only a righty warming up in the bullpen for this Wolverines side.
Another eruption from Michigan softball as they end an inning against Indiana and limit them. Once again, the score is, we do have a score update. Indiana did get that lead back, so it is now 5-4, but Michigan still looking to have a fighting chance at punching their ticket as well. So they're in the bottom of the 5th inning here.
Home plate umpire coming to break up the party at the mound. Brenham's going to stay on the mound for this Wolverines side. Runner on first, 0 outs. Aiden Doherty, the senior, up to bat, the right fielder, as we said earlier, 0 for 1 on the day, batting .214 on the season. His past 2 plate appearances, in the second he was struck out, and in the 4th he was walked.
Doherty takes strike 1. It's a great, that's a great placement by Brenham. A little bit on that outside corner here, outside of Doherty's usual zone.
Yeah, great changeup by the freshman Shane Brenham as he deals pitch 2. That one is high. Cade Ladderhoff trying to make the play. He is unable to as it is in his glove and out. Misjudged that one a little bit, going too far towards the Washington Huskies dugout.
Extremely out of character for him as well, as he's had an impressive defensive day out here, making multiple stretches at first and hauling in a couple balls as well. So just unable to track that ball down isn't something that you would want to see, but based off the ticket that he's punched today, it's pretty uncommon. But Brenham will take Doherty down on strikes.
I believe that was ruled an error for the first baseman.
As Landon Young is brought up for Washington. 0 for 2 today with an average of .233, but with 12 ribbies on the season and 1 triple. So an impressive ticket for him, and hopefully can make something happen for Washington here, as his first pitch is going to be called strike. Once again, an 0-1 count with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Washington and Michigan still notched at 1. Brenham deals pitch number 2. It's going to be an outside pitch, called as a ball.
A 1-1 count, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Runner on first. Wolverines still do have a righty warming up in the bullpen. Not sure how much longer they're going to keep Shane Brenham going with his 90 pitches as he deals one high and outside for ball 2 on Landon Young. Young struck out his last appearance at the plate in the 4th inning. He is currently 0 for 2 on the day, the freshman, one of the youngest people in the lineup, as that one is hit foul down the first base side for Young. As I was saying, the freshman is the youngest person in the lineup, surrounded by mostly juniors, seniors, and graduate students. Let's see what the young freshman can do against the freshman pitcher.
Yeah, this is a good matchup here, freshman on freshman. both coming out of that same high school class. As Young Skies, another one back behind the Washington dugout and over the stands onto the track of our IM here in Michigan. So Young doing a great job of staying alive in this batter's box and combating Brenham's tough decision making on the mound.
Initially, that play at first by Ladderhoff was ruled an error. That has been taken back. Wolverines still with 0 errors on the board as Landon Young hits that one into the parking lot. Fouled off for a 2-2 count, still staying alive here.
So we'll see. Young's going to continue to fight through this at bat, hopefully work the count back into his favor. Try to throw Brenham off his game. There's another eruption from Michigan softball. Hoping to get a score update in just a moment here.
Yeah, the pickoff attempt at first unsuccessful for Shane Brenham. Trying to keep Ty Cowan honest at that first baseline as he deals one low and outside for ball 3. Full count for Landon Young. What an at-bat for the designated hitter.
Michigan softball score update. Lily Valamont homered to right field, getting 2 RBIs and scoring Janisa Conway, tipping the score back into their favor of 6-5 as Young Skies went high into left field, but it is going to be hauled in beautifully and effortlessly by Morrow for Michigan.
Yeah, the right fielder Dane Morrow coming in from right to make that play. Mick Paul going to be up at bat, having that wonderful catch to end the inning there for the Washington Huskies. 0 for 1 on the day, batting .237 on the season with 17 RBIs, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. See what he can get going with 2 outs, runner on first for the Washington Huskies team.
Jeffrey's looking to get a little bit of revenge here on Ladderhoff as he did rob his hit of scoring Michigan's run. Brenham deals his first pitch, and it's going to be a ball.
Jeffrey's pinched in at third here for this Michigan Wolverines team, playing on the grass right now. Wolverines now have 2 pitchers warming up, a lefty and a righty in the bullpen.
Brenham deals his second pitch, and it's going to be down for a double as Paul hits a double, advancing Cowan to third, putting 2 runners in scoring position and 1 at just 90 feet away.
Yeah, they're gonna advance. They're gonna hold Cowan, at that third baseline. A little bit too shallow for him to keep running towards home. What a play by the right fielder Dane Morrow for this Wolverines team to keep that in front of him and keep Cowan at that third base position. Runners on second and third now as we might get a pitching change here for the Wolverines team.
Washington knowing that there's 2 outs, so runners are going to go on anything, but not sending Cowan right there was a smart decision to make, as they know if he's tagged out, their inning's over and they don't have any sort of advantage on Michigan anymore.
Yeah, the catcher, Ethan Swithers, going to come into the plate for the Wolverines team. Shane Brennan getting a standing ovation as his day is done, throwing 100 pitches, getting that triple-digit mark, 1 homer, 1 double, 6 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 3 hits on the day for him as his day comes to the end. As his day comes to an end.
Entering the game in place for Brenham is going to be number 26, Tyler Finkbeiner. Finkbeiner
coming into this game for the Wolverines. The right-handed pitcher deciding to bring in another righty freshman standing at 6 feet 7 inches. Wow. Another freshman pitcher for this Wolverines team. They've decided to bring in, a righty after the lefty, switching it up here. They did find some success with their lefty relief pitcher yesterday, Michael Cadence, deciding to bring in a righty after struggling a bit more with their righty pitchers, changing it up after Shane Brenham was taken out.
Shane Brenham, though, had a great day as Lexi told us a couple of his stats here, but once again, Finkbeiner just trying to come in this game and shut this inning down with 2 runners in scoring position. This is not a situation that anyone really wants to come into or really hopes to, but it's definitely those situations that show your athleticism and show your ability on the mound to really haul that team in and make sure that you can make some magic happen for Michigan.
At bat for the Huskies is going to be Ethan Swither, the catcher, batting .238 on the season. 2 at bats so far today, having 1 walk in his last plate appearance in the 4th. On the season, he has 28 hits, scoring 12 runs, 10 RBIs, 14 walks, walked a lot, with 4 doubles and 3 home runs so far. See if he can get anything going for this Washington Huskies team and see if they can take the lead for the first time today.
On the opposite side, Michigan trying to stop Washington from getting a lead, even though they do have 2 runners in scoring position like we've mentioned before. But this 2-out high-pressure situation is something that is going to show Finkbeiner's athleticism. As that first pitch is taken and caught by Campbell, stopping the threat from Washington. Great work by Finkbeiner. Doesn't really have to do much to have his success. But once again, great work, nice pitch and placement, and great job by Campbell to get there and hustle over and stop Washington from scoring.
A little bit scary there, as I thought that was going to drop. It looks like they're also going to be making the call to the bullpen for this Washington Huskies team.
Congratulations, Vonda Junk, for getting a gift card to the Pretzel Bell. Tomorrow's National Pretzel Day, so I know exactly what she's going to be doing then. I mean, personally, I would have loved that one even more than the iPad.
Great fun facts about the National Pretzel Day. Really do love it.
Shout out Auntie Ann's.
It actually looks like Jackson Thomas is going to be coming back out for this Washington Huskies team.
Thomas here trying to punch his ballot and ticket to finish off 6 innings strong. His pitch count is pretty low compared to where Brenham was, excuse me. Jackson only at 83 pitches entering the 6th inning, compared to Brenham exiting the 6th inning with 100 pitches on the mark. So it really shows each team's ability to attack the plate and really make each pitcher work for their outs, rather than just having them become easy.
Yes, as you said, Wolverines really need to get something going here. Entering the bottom of the 6th inning, both teams tied with hits at 3 and tied in runs 1-1. The only thing that really sets them apart is the 1 error on the side of the Washington Huskies. Wolverines first baseman Kid Ladahoff is going to come up to bat. Number 28, averaging .250 on the season.
Ladahoff looking to get something going for Michigan here, as they are nearing the latter half, or the latter end of this game. Once again, the bottom of the 6th inning, Michigan and Washington notched up at 1. With
a little bit confused here, as Jackson Thomas, it looks like, has changed numbers to number 15. Maybe something wrong with his jersey. That's why I was a little bit confused seeing number 15 on the mound, who is Liam Learman's number, but still going to be Jackson Thomas on the plate, on the mound for this Washington Huskies team.
He deals first pitch strike to Kate Ladahoff. Once again, 0 for 2 on the day, averaging .250, but still a player that's able to do some damage against this Washington team. He takes pitch number 2, and it's going to be called for a ball inside as it rolls a little bit over the catcher's feet, and he hauls that back and tosses it over.
At the 5, 6, 7 portion of the lineup for this Michigan Wolverines roster, this is where they kind of struggle more, as Thomas deals strike 2, 1-2 count. This is where they have been struggling more. Everyone in the next few batters is 0 for 2 on the day, as that one is far inside, almost hitting Ladahoff, the first baseman. Gonna be a 2-2 count, 0 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Ladahoff looked like it hit him, but umpire saying that's no. So he'll be back at the plate once again, 2-2 count. And he'll send one right to third. It's a shot, but it is hauled in quickly by Blake Wilson and tossed on over to Taggart at first to get that first out. It's a great work by Wilson to haul it in. That ball was hit hard off the bat by Ladahoff, a player that does consistently hit hard and towards that side of the field. So great work to adapt.
Yeah, as you said, that ball was hit so hard that Wilson had time to take a few steps towards first, closing the distance to make an easier play, but that throw was absolutely rocketed as he's now pinched in for Evan Hager playing on the grass here.
Hager takes ball 1. Thomas looking to get something going here for Washington and shut down Michigan.
That one hit right to the first baseman. Casey Taggart there for the Washington Huskies, kind of letting that one hit off of his chest, bouncing on the turf, then making the easy play himself at first to get the second out of the inning, bringing up the freshman Josh Campbell. Freshman left fielder up to bat, struggling on the day, 0 for 2, batting .206 on the season. Struck out in the 4th at his last plate appearance. Hopefully he can do something with 2 outs. Wolverines have been pretty great at their 2-out rallies in the past 2 games. As the first pitch is dealt, and it is a strike.
Campbell, though, with that great catch to end the top of this inning and stop the Washington threat from having 2 runners in scoring position. But also, as Thomas seals, his next pitch is going to be called ball 1 as it's in the dirt. But previously, that last play from Taggart, his ability to slow that ball down and keep it in front of him, even though he didn't scoop it up right away, was a great move and a great way to adapt to this play. Campbell's going to swing for strike 2. The count is now 1-2. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, once again, Michigan and Washington still both notched at 1.
Infielders playing pretty straight up for Campbell here as he fouls one back to stay alive. 1-2 count. Staying alive here, 2 outs, 0 runners on base for Campbell. Campbell playing with a pretty neutral stance, pretty far back in that batter's box as he hopes to continue to stay alive here. Thomas delivers, and that one is going to be high, called ball 2. 2-2 count, 2 outs, no runners on. Very big gap between the second baseman and shortstop for the Washington Huskies. Hopefully he can hit something down that gap in the middle. As Thomas delivers, and it is high and outside again. Full count here. Great at bat for the freshman, Josh Campbell.
Campbell doing a great job of staying alive and staying vigilant in that box. As Thomas is going to deal his next pitch. And Campbell skies one, and it's going to be over the head of Hotchkiss out in the outfield here. And Thomas is going to be able to, or excuse me, Campbell is going to be able to get around all the way to second base. Great job of Campbell using that speed that he has, taking advantage of it, and then also taking advantage of the outfielders all turning their back on the ball and knowing that's his cue to go. But he get a 2-out rally going and hopefully get something started for the Michigan Wolverines, and he's in scoring position. So hopefully looking for Amara to get something going and
looks like
take
we're
advantage
bring
of
in
that.
a pinch runner here for this Wolverines team, potentially. As Campbell jogs towards the dugout, the left fielder hitting one over the head of Jackson Hotchkiss, the left fielder on this Washington Huskies team. Maybe not a pinch runner, but definitely a meeting for the Michigan Wolverines offense. Runner on second, runner in scoring position, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. What a hit there. I thought that was definitely going to be caught by the left fielder, Hotchkiss. Maybe misjudged it a little bit going over the head. As we're continuing to have a talk here.
Maybe figuring out scoring for this play, trying to deem if it was an error, if it tipped off his glove or not. And Campbell's actually just going to come right back out to second. No pinch runner needed. Bringing up a pinch hitter. Jack Lafitte is going to come in place of that 8 slot here. The freshman, the right-handed batter, batting .265 on the season from California, Pacific Palisades. As Thomas is going to deal first pitch, and it's going to be outside for a ball. Campbell taking a huge lead off second, though, knowing that there's 2 outs and he's going on any sort of contact. Anything that he sees and heels off that bat, he knows that's his cue.
Thomas throwing 97 pitches so far. Going to be his 98th, and that is going to be high and out wide for ball 2 on Jack Lafitte, the pinch hitter for this Wolverine side. Bringing in another freshman here in place of Dane Mora.
Feet a bit farther back in this box to accommodate for Thomas's pitch speed. As he takes his first strike and swings. Counts now 2-1. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Campbell, the runner on second, taking a huge lead. Maybe trying to throw off Thomas in his game here. Thomas deals. It's going to be called low for ball 3, tipping the count 3-1, excuse me, in Michigan's favor. Fans erupting, trying to distract Thomas, using this strategy as this is one of Michigan's best chances that they have to get their lead back so far in this game.
Ty Cowan playing close to second and then running out as that one is hit almost towards the gap between the second baseman and shortstop but Cowan is able to get back as that one was hit a little bit slower and make the play at first and end the inning.
That was a beautiful dive by Cowan to make that stop there. And he had that time to regroup and set his feet to make the beautiful throw over to first to Taggart and end that inning. Once again, having that threat of Campbell on second and his speed is definitely not something that Washington wanted. It was a great way to fight out of that inning and take advantage of Michigan's, mishaps there.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that one get through the gap there, as that's where the Wolverines were able to find their success yesterday. That one hit just a little bit too slow. As I said earlier, the inning is going to be over.
Bring us to the top of the 7th inning. Same pitcher back on the mound. Fink Biner for Michigan. Once again, he only faced one batter and threw 1 pitch, and then Campbell had that beautiful catch out in the outfield to end the inning.
Yeah, Kaysen Taggart coming up to bat for this Washington Huskies team. 0 for 2 on the day, batting 198 on the season. But he played so well, it seems like we're going to get a defensive substitution. Greg Pace Jr. coming in to this game here in right field. Greg Pace, WCBN legend. Always great to see him at meetings. He is such a great locker room guy for this Michigan baseball team. What a great personality. Exciting to see him in this game here.
Pace. Pace the batter, Pace coming in the game. Once again, just trying to mix up this defensive look for Michigan. Hopefully knock Washington off their game a bit and stop their momentum. But Kaysen Taggart, a player for this Washington team that they do want to have success. Bit of a lower batting average here with 198 on the season. But 0 for 2 today, but that doesn't mean that he's not able to make something shake for this Washington team. Michigan with the shift on as well. Everyone has shifted down that first base side, with only the lone third baseman, Jeffries, still over near his bag. Everyone else over there.
As you said, Braden Jeffries playing almost on the grass here, pinched in for Kaysen Taggart, 0 for 2 on the day, but he did play really well yesterday in that game, getting some hits for this Washington Huskies team, moving down to the 9th spot for today, as that one is going to be a ball, 1-1 on the count, 0 outs. Shift is still on, Jeffries still pinched in at third. That one is going to be low again. Going to be 2-1 count, 0 outs. Taggart steps back into the batter's box. Wolverines do have a pitcher throwing in the bullpen. Looks like it's going to be a lefty this time. As Finkbeiner delivers a strike finally, 2-2 count.
Beautiful pitch from Finkbeiner, 93 miles an hour fastball right down Broadway for him here. A beautiful way to get that count start to tip back into his favor.
It looks like Braden Jeffries is going to move over towards that shortstop position, switching with the Michigan shortstop, Drew Culbertson now. Maybe they want a little bit more insurance defensively, leaving that third base side completely wide open.
Knowing that Taggart is the player who typically does pull when he hits, this is a smart decision to have this shift on, but if he decides to go oppo with it, it's game over for Michigan here. So he fouls one right back straight into the netting here. But once again, Michigan, great outlook and great way to be heads up, but if Taggart gets that oppo way, it's good night for Michigan.
Exactly, as you said, almost 2-2 count with Kason Taggart staying alive here. Pitch is dealt, and that one is going to be high. No one over there on that Wolverine side, unable to come up with the play.
Once again, one of the disadvantages of having that shift on, no one was able to come in time and get that out, giving Taggart that extra life that he just so badly needed.
Yeah, as you said, both Culbertson and Finkbeiner tried to run over there and make that play. Neither were successful, just a little bit too far for the Wolverines with this heavy shift towards the first base side. As Taggart stays alive here, 2-2 count, 0 out.
And you would think that with the wind pulling, Michigan might let up a little bit, but they're still having that shift on, like Lexi said. Finkbeiner deals, and the shift definitely worked in their favor. Or not, as it's bobbled by third baseman Culbertson. He's not able to get it over to Ladehoff in time, making this an error.
Yeah, an error, I believe, for Braden Jeffries there, the third baseman, coming over towards that second base side, unable to finish the play on what I believed was a pretty routine play for him. Bobbled it, unable to get it over to Cade Ladehoff at first. A little bit demoralizing for pitcher Finkbeiner, as he thought he would have it one out and get ahead of this Washington Huskies lineup here.
This Washington Huskies team, really one of those teams that fights with grit. Though neither team necessarily has a ton of momentum right now, both teams do have something that they're willing to fight for. Michigan, once again, that big thing that they're looking for is just to get into that NCAA tournament and hopefully make it to the greatest show on dirt. But Washington looking to get to above 500 in their conference play and just make those small strides and make sure that they're returning their players for next year instead of having a team that's a little bit more discombobulated.
Yeah, Kason Taggart at first, 6'5", taking not a big enough sizable leadoff from him, as Jackson Hotchkiss, the leadoff batter, swings to make it a 1-2 count. As I was saying, Taggart really big at first right now. More size, more running power. 100% on stolen bases so far this year with 3. Got to keep a watchful eye out for him at first, as Jackson Hotchkiss fouls that one back, staying alive. Still a 1-2 count, 0 outs in the top of the 7th. Runner on first after that error by Braden Jeffries.
Yeah, Hotchkiss at the plate here, just trying to protect, as this is a 1-2 count, definitely in the pitcher's favor here. As Finkbeiner is going to deal a ball, making the count 2-2. Once again, no outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Michigan, Washington, still notched at 1.
Yeah, a few groans from the Michigan crowd on that one, but gonna be a 2-2 count as Finkbeiner deals again, and it is going to be a strike. Jackson Hodgkins, the leadoff batter, goes down looking. That should bring Finkbeiner some confidence back after that defensive error by the Wolverines. One out, runner on first to bring up Sam DiCarlo, the senior, batting .295 on the season. Senior is 0 for 3 on the day so far, looking to get something going for this Huskies team.
Washington overall only with 3 hits. They're 3 for 23 right now at the plate. Michigan, though, 4 for 23 as well. So both teams really struggling on offense here. But Sam DiCarlo trying to make something happen here. Once again, 1 out, no balls, no strikes.
Sam DiCarlo, the senior shortstop, is dealt a ball. He is one of the few players to be on this Washington Huskies roster, as I spoke about before, all 4 years. He is really good defensively for this Huskies team. As I said earlier, named to D1 Baseball's top 50 shortstops, coming in at number 2. Started every game he has played in as he hits one 2-second. The double play could be on and is to end the inning for the Wolverines team. Finkbeiner did exactly what he needed to do. And the double play works. Great to get that runner out as the Wolverines made that error earlier in the inning. The 7th inning stretch. And the Wolverines are going to come back in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Wolverines needed to recover from that error. Great job by getting that 6-4-3 classic double play right there and making sure they get those outs here.
Looks like the Washington Huskies will come out with Jackson Thomas now wearing number 15 instead of number 39, as I said earlier. Unsure of what happened there. Drew Culbertson, is going to be at the plate for the Wolverines, walking in his last at-bat in the 5th. The 9-hitter struggling a little bit more. The junior batting only 194 on the season. Let's see if he can get something going for this Wolverines team. Having only 14 RBIs on the season, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer. Would be a great time to get his 2nd home run of the season here and put the Wolverines up late. We are still notched at 1 after the Wolverines' only run came in the 1st inning after that double. The Washington Huskies getting their run in the 4th inning. Nothing since then for either team as we enter the final third of this game.
Yeah, entering the bottom of the 7th inning here, Michigan once again has not scored at all since the 1st inning. Since that beautiful RBI double from Jeffries at the bottom of the 1st. But also here looking at, hey, how can we take advantage of our time here? We have 3 more chances right now, and if we want to limit Washington's ability, what can we do here to make sure they can stop? As the first pitch is dealt for Learman,
Yeah,
excuse me.
I was just about to say Liam Learman actually looked like he replaced Jackson Thomas to start off this inning. Learman is a left-handed pitcher dealing a strike now for strike number 2 on Culbertson. Learman has a 4.44 ERA on the season. Bringing in a lefty after the righty starter. As Drew Culbertson shows bunt, but that one is outside for ball 1. 1-2 count, 0 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Culbertson, a right-handed batter, so he's not looking to slap here, but a bunt to throw Washington off. If they are playing a little bit deeper than usual, as that's a called strike out for Culbertson.
Yeah, Culbertson showing bunt again. As I spoke about earlier, we'd love to see some more of the small ball for this Wolverines team. Unsuccessful there with the top of the lineup coming back up for this Wolverines team. Cooper Mullins, the leadoff batter for this Wolverines side, is going to come up to the plate again, averaging .304 on the season, 0 for 2 on the day so far. Let's see if he can get something going. Designated hitter for this Wolverines side.
Yeah, Mullins not having as much success on the day as he would have liked. He's had 2 at-bats, struck out once, and walked another time, but he was the lone run in the first inning that scored.
Looks like the Wolverines actually might bring in a pinch hitter. Jun-Sung Park, the hero of the day yesterday, was so surprised to see him not get the start after having that walk-off double to end the game. As I said earlier yesterday, he comes up to bat right now. Let's see what he can do as he takes strike 1. 0-1 count, 1 out. Really excited to see him in the game here for this Wolverines team. Really
Park had a great performance yesterday, saving the Wolverines, for lack of better words, as he takes strike 2. Once again, 1 out here, no balls, 2 strikes in the bottom of the 7th inning. But Park, a player for this Michigan team, definitely has the ability to shake something up for them.
That one is inside for Park. Ball 1-1-2 count. As you said, Park only just starting recently, hitting, I believe, 400 in his last 5 games. With 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 RBIs, drawing in 3 walks. The junior DH, he's played so well in these last, I guess, 6 games now, after just having a few plate appearances before that Northwestern game. As the Washington Huskies check on their catcher after that last ball there. He seems to be okay. Jun-Sung Park is going to take the batter's box again here in a second. Hopefully he can get something going, as I said, for this Wolverines side.
Park, an international student out of Seoul, South Korea, but went to one of the most premier sports high schools, IMG Academy, from Bradenton, Florida. As it looks like that ball might have hit him. Excuse me, no, it didn't hit him, just bounced off the back of the batter's box there, making the count 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, I thought that one caught him on his back foot. Did not hit him on the slider, but Learman's going to deal. And Jun-Sung Park is going to go down looking for the 2nd out of this inning.
And that's going to bring up Colby Turner for Michigan. Has had 2 at-bats. He did have a hit in his last plate appearance in the first inning. Did have that single, but still not able to connect and make it all the way around and home.
Another Michigan softball update there in the top of the 6th, tied 6-6 with Indiana. Really needing this win here as Colby Turner comes up to bat. That one is going to be high and wide for ball 1 on Turner. This is where the Wolverines have been finding all of their success in these past 2 games. Turner averaging 400 on the season, getting a single at his last at-bat. And that one is going to be called another ball, 2-0 count on Turner, who is 1 for 2 on the day so far. Really impressive that he's batting 400 through all of these games this season.
Yeah, Turner, a really impressive batter, 1 for 2 on the day, and averaging 400. Definitely a team leader here.
Big swing there for Turner.
Turner, though, a huge team leader, so somebody that they do want to get on base or hopefully have something come to fruition at the plate and make Learman work a little bit harder for these outs than he has been. Hill Sky one to center field, but it'll be just short as it's hauled in by Paul. That'll be the 3rd time today, or excuse me, the 2nd time today that he snags somebody's run to end an inning.
Yeah, McPaul making that play to end the inning here, sending us into the top of the 8th. Wolverines gonna keep Finkbeiner on the mound, throwing only 17 pitches so far as Blake Wilson, the 3-hitter for this Washington Huskies team, comes up to bat. The right-handed junior 1 for 2 on the day so far with that home run in the 4th, the lone run for this Washington Huskies team, batting .299 on the season so far. Great for him. So far, no one warming up in the Michigan bullpen either.
Michigan pitching really has done an excellent job today. Little to no problems for Finkbeiner or, our previous pitcher, the freshman. Shane Brenham, who had an amazing ticket that he punched earlier today, proving himself in this candidacy for being a real starter and a real contribution to this team.
Yeah, the just emerging weekend starter, the freshman, pitching really well for this Wolverines team, letting up that lone home run in the 4th inning. Both bullpens for both Michigan Wolverines and Washington Huskies pitching well so far after they struggled a little bit more yesterday. As you said, everyone really pitching well for both sides as we see the score at 1-1. Washington Huskies have 3 hits and 1 error on the day. The Wolverines have 4 hits, 1 error, both of them making errors. We saw the error for Braden Jeffries, and then the Wolverines were able to end the inning with a double play. Let's see what the 3-hitter Blake Wilson can do. The junior, 1 for 2 on the day, as I said earlier. 10 RBIs on the season, 4 doubles and 3 triples. Only 1 home run, 1 lone home run for him, which came in the 4th inning today.
Finkbeiner deals the first pitch. It's going to be inside for a ball.
Michigan's Braden Jeffries at third, pinching towards that third base line, playing a little bit in, not wanting to give anything down that side.
Finkbeiner deals, and it is going to be a base hit, or maybe a little bit more, as Campbell struggles to hold on to it. He eventually is able to throw it in and get it to Turner at second base, but it's only after he bobbles it and has that little misstep out in the outfield. Not exactly what Michigan wanted to see to start off this 8th inning.
Yeah, exactly what the Wolverines expected. Wilson hitting it down that third base side. Oh, well over Braden Jeffries. And as you said, Josh Campbell bobbling it there. Really unnecessary. Going to be the 2nd error of the day for this Wolverines side. Not what they wanted to start this inning.
This is something that Michigan has had to work on, though, over the course of the past few months of the season, is errors and making those mistakes. Okay, you make a mistake, but how do you come back from it? It says a lot more about the team. As Finkbeiner's going to deal his first pitch of this at-bat, it's going to be called as a ball against Ty Cowan from Washington.
Wilson to stay at second on that low pitch there in the turf. Ball 1. For Cowan. Finkbeiner delivers. Gonna be a 2nd ball, 2-0 count. The Wolverines seem to have another pitcher warming up in the bullpen right now, as Finkbeiner has runner on second. Really not his fault there. Wolverines gonna call time here, as the catcher Noah Miller gonna go talk to his pitcher. Maybe gonna give their bullpen a little bit more time to warm up. Looks like they're going to bring in a lefty after the right-handed relief pitcher, Tyler Finkbeiner. And they did start with that lefty, Shane Brenham.
Shane Brenham, though, doing a great job today, holding Washington to only 1 run. But Finkbeiner also doing a great job as this relief comes in. He's doing a great job of holding Washington up, like Lexi said. Not really his fault too much that there's a runner in scoring position, but he's going to do his best to make sure that he limits the Washington's ability to capitalize on this runner.
Wouldn't be surprised if he gave up a walk or a hit here if his day was done. Wolverines now also bringing a righty into the bullpen to warm up. They really like to do this, having multiple options as the corners pinch in for the Wolverines, both at Cade Ladderhoff and Braden Jeffries at first and third pinching in, as that one is fouled towards the Wolverines dugout for Ty Cowan. The count is now 2-1. As I was talking about earlier, a little bit of deception with this Wolverines bullpen. Could either bring a righty or a lefty. Looking forward, you have two right-handed batters in a row, then a lefty, righty, lefty to end the order. So the Wolverines really could do anything here, as that one is going to be high and inside for ball 3. A 3-1 count on Ty Cowan.
Cowan here being a smart batter, knowing that these are not Finkbeiner's best pitches that he's been throwing, so he's going to wait for his and seize the moment that he can take advantage of Finkbeiner. Finkbeiner winds up to throw the next pitch of this at-bat, checking on the runners at second, as he will send Cowan down to first base on a walk.
Cowan taking the free 90, surprised that Finkbeiner's day is not done, with Aiden Doherty coming up to the plate. The senior is 0 for 2 on the day so far, batting .209 on the season. He was struck out in his plate appearance in the 6th and 2nd innings, while he was walked in the 4th. And it looks like we might now have a pitching change for this Wolverines team, as Finkbeiner's day is done. Runners on first and second, 0 outs here. The Wolverines really cannot afford to give up any runs so late in this inning. Not sure who they're going to bring in, the righty or the lefty.
Yeah, like Lexi just said, the Wolverines are not looking to give up any runs ever, but especially right now where it matters most. They have 2 more chances to get back at Washington in this game and hopefully punch this ticket and mark this as a series win. But Washington is not letting off this gas pedal. As we've seen, honestly, it looks like Washington is only getting stronger and stronger, clawing deeper and deeper into this Michigan dugout, working these pitches into their favor, and working these at-bats to make sure that they're taking advantage of every moment they have at the plate and on this field.
Yes, it looks like Finkbeiner's night is done. As we said earlier, Wolverines bringing in another relief pitcher here in the top of this 8th inning. It looks like it is going to be number 19 for this Wolverines team, Brandon Mann, who played in yesterday's game, posting a 5.40 ERA on the season, pitching 8.1 innings. Actually, his ERA is a little bit higher than that, 7.56 on the year. The senior right-handed pitcher out of Franklin, Maryland, is going to try and get out of this jam here for the Wolverines, with runners on first and second. Wolverines deciding to bring in another righty here after the righty of Finkbeiner. I guess they liked what they saw there with the right-handed matchup, whereas starting the lefty pitcher, Shane Brenham, the freshman, going with a little bit more experience after the 2 freshman pitchers in a row for this Wolverines side.
I think the difference between a freshman and a senior pitcher is very much so how they present themselves on the mound and get their footing straight. Finkbeiner was really lucky and had that first pitch from him be so successful and have Campbell scoop that right up for it to be an out. But as we just saw a couple batters ago, Campbell could not connect when a batter once again hit that ball towards him, but that once again doesn't say anything about Finkbeiner's a pitcher, just about his attitude towards the game and how Michigan baseball really sees him as an asset to this team. Not wanting to tire him out too much and making sure that he's in there for the right amount of time, and that's exactly what they did. So it's a great job at Michigan. They want to switch up in their bullpen and hopefully shake Washington up as they near the end of this game.
Yeah, a little bit of a jam where the man is in. Always hard to inherit runners, especially in scoring position, with Ty Cowan at first and Blake Wilson at second right now, with Aiden Doherty, the 5-hitter, up to bat, the right fielder for this Washington Huskies team. Let's see what he can do.
And there's no outs here at the top of the 8th inning. Michigan and Washington still notched up at 1, with 2 runners on base, a runner on second, and a runner on first. Aiden Doherty gets up to the plate and prepares to bat. As Mann deals, he'll turn around. They're not going to call that as a balk, but he is going to turn around and throw down to second, try to stop Blake Wilson from going any further than he already is. making him 90 feet less than he would like to be from that home plate.
Trying to keep Blake Wilson honest there at second base. Wolverines first baseman Cade Ladehoff pinching in really far right now. Quick Michigan softball update there in the bottom of the sixth with bases loaded, 1 out, tied 6-6 against this Indiana Hoosiers team.
I cannot think of a higher pressure situation for Michigan right now, especially their women's softball team, who has been struggling a little bit more to find their rhythm. But man is going to deal his next pitch of the at-bat. It's going to be called a ball. As I was saying, Michigan softball team that's trying to find their rhythm and work back into their ways and hopefully like punch a ticket next year to this tournament. This year it might not be a grasp for them.
Yeah, 1-1 count on Aiden Doherty. Cade Ladehoff was pinched in, now moving back a little bit. Brandon Mann deals his second ball of the at-bat. Cade Ladehoff now going back out towards the first base side. Everyone playing pretty straight up for this Wolverines team. Showing bunt, pulls it back for the third ball of the at-bat. 3-1 count. Brandon Mann really cannot afford to walk Doherty here and load the bases for this Washington Huskies team with 0 outs on the board.
Exactly, and last time Washington had the bases loaded, that was when they brought in Finkbeiner and he had that beautiful save to end the inning. But
that one is called a strike. Thought it was a little bit inside, but great for Mann to get that strike to load the count. Full count here for Brandon Mann on Aiden Doherty. As I said, thought that one was inside, and he is going to hit Doherty as Doherty takes the free 90 there, loading the bases. Wolverines do have a pitcher in the bullpen warming up. Wouldn't be surprised if they use that right here.
Unfortunately, Michigan is not going to be able to bring in a pitcher yet, since this is only then, since Doherty was Mann's first batter that he saw, but they are going to have a meeting on the mound. Michigan softball erupting in cheers again as they notch off Indiana to win the game.
Looks like the Wolverines actually do bring in another pitcher here. It is going to be, it looks like a lefty for this Wolverines side, as Brandon Mann's day is done after only facing one batter. For the Wolverines, it is going to be number 22, Wyatt Novara. In 2025, the Big Ten Distinguished Scholar and Academic All-Big Ten, made 6 starts played in 6 games, 3 strikeouts, 4.2 innings pitched. Bringing in a lefty after 2 righties in a row, the Wolverines. The junior is standing at 6'3" from Dexter, Michigan. In a bit of a jam here, bases loaded, 0 outs. Wolverines wanting to bring in a left-handed pitcher, as I said, after using 2 righties in a row, maybe to get a different look here, as Landon Young, a freshman, is going to come to the plate for this Washington Huskies team.
That's something that Michigan really has to look forward to in these next coming years, is the fact that their pitching rotation is so young. Their bullpen is so young, full of like people that are willing to be part of the game for a while and build this program up, which is something that Wyatt Navarro is going to be able to do here. Hopefully get some sort of stop to Washington's purple rain that they've exuberated on Michigan.
Just about to say, it looks like we actually might get a pinch hitter for Young. Ian Draper looks like he is warming up right now. Looks like he might be hitting for Young, as Mick Paul would be on deck for this Washington Huskies team.
Washington players are going to jog back to the field as Navarro is going to wrap up his warm-up here on the mound, looking to make sure Michigan is doing their due diligence to stop Washington from this destructive inning they've had. Though they haven't added anything to their score, they have done some pretty deep damage. Once again, bases loaded for Washington. Top of the 8th inning, score notched at 1-1, no outs.
The freshman Ian Draper, pinch hitting for Young, has been featured in 16 games this season, making 7 starts, playing at first, second, third, and appearing as the designated hitter. Has 3 multi-hit games this season. The freshman is going to foul the first one off for an 0-1 count.
This freshman Ian Draper is a great, this is a great choice by Washington to put this freshman in, shake up the lineup, as though, even though Michigan just changed up their pitchers, it is a good idea for them to keep this defense on their toes, keep the maize and blue looking and vigilant at all times, as that's going to be called for strike 2 on Draper. A great dealing from Michigan here as they're trying to get some momentum. The crowd's amped up. Both dugouts are on their feet. All stakes are high as ever here as the pitch. It's sky high down the first baseline. It's going to be out of play. But a great sliding effort from both Michigan's first and second basemen over here. Trying to get any sort of stop they can. Once again, crowd getting out on their feet. The boards are banging right now with louder, 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 and go blue across all of the boards here.
Michigan infield really pinched in, everyone playing almost on the grass here for this Wolverines side. As it is
all strike 3.
Yeah, Ian Draper's going to go down looking.
That's a big out for this freshman to get here for Michigan. But Ian Draper, good at bat, trying to stay in there, but Michigan ultimately coming out on top. Great showing by Navarra and a great way to show his debut of this game.
Yes, I completely agree. Navarra with an 8.1 ERA on the season. Going to bring up Mick Paul. 1 for 2 on the day so far, the junior. Batting .242 on the season with that double in the 6th, walked in the 4th. Let's see what Mick Paul can do against Navarra. Wolverines have 2 more pitchers warming up in the bullpen, both righties it looks like, as Mick Paul comes to the plate for the Washington Huskies team. Crowd getting into it, dugouts getting into it. Extremely exciting to see.
This atmosphere here is really electric right now. You can literally feel the tension in this field right now. As Navarra deals the first pitch, it's going to be a ball low and outside, just a bit outside of Paul's zone. Paul, once again today, is 1 for 2 with an average of .242. So he is a bit of a threat, and he has had those great defensive plays to limit Michigan. So a bit shaken up over here as he's dealt with the first strike, tipping the count 1-1. 1-1, excuse me, with 1 out.
Yes, Wolverines corners pinched in a little bit, both playing on the grass here for the Wolverines infield. So McPaul's going to take his 3rd, and it is chopped down the 3rd baseline and foul. Going to make it a 1-2 count, 1 out. Runners on every single base for this Washington Huskies team. Out what the Wolverines want to see.
The crowds are getting into it, dugouts are getting into it. Both teams really in this electric moment. Navarra looking for another big stop here to limit Washington's true reign of terror they've exuberated on the Michigan. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a ball low, making the count 2-2.
Some great defense by Miller, the catcher for this Wolverine side, to keep that in front of him as that pitch was dealt low. 2-2 count. 1 out, bases loaded for Mick Paul in the top of the 8th here. The pitch comes in and it is hit to left field, and it is going to be off the wall. 2 runners score.
It's a beautiful hit from Paul. was only able to get around to first, but it was still a great effort by him, tacking on those 2 ribbies here. Great work, scoring in 2 runners here, advancing Doherty to second. Paul is on first. Up to bat is going to be Ethan Swidler, who's 0 for 2 on the day, but has an average of 236. Going to make something shake, add on to this Washington momentum.
As you just said, Mick Paul's single to left field scored both Blake Wilson and Ty Cowan, as the first pitch of the at-bat is called a ball with some groans from the Wolverines faithful. Runners on first and second, still runner in scoring position. I thought that Paul was going to get a double on that one.
Me as well. Yeah, I think if he had a little bit more speed on him, he definitely would be able to get around to second, but Doherty also let up a little bit before than Paul would have liked, especially there. But it was a great job by Campbell to get that ball in and make sure it stayed in front of him after it got bounced off that wall to limit this destruction that Washington could have done. As Navarre is about to deal his next pitch of the at-bat, it's a strike, making the count now 2-1. With 1 out here in the at the top of the 8th inning. Washington 3, Michigan 1. Navarre deals again, and it's chopped up and scooped together by third baseman for Michigan, and gives Ladhoff a nice stretch over there to secure the second out of the inning.
That one was close, as it was chopped so slowly towards that third base side. Runners advance to second and third, but the Wolverines able to make that out at first, getting Swidler out, bringing up Kason Taggart to the plate, the 9-hitter. The graduate student is 0 for 3 on the day, batting only 196 on the season, but we did talk about how he had a great performance in the game yesterday. Let's see what he can do for this Washington Huskies team, as he has dealt a ball on his first pitch.
Navarre doing a great job at showcasing his talent here on the mound and showing the difference in his pitches, that he can throw that low slider. He's really able to miss that zone just by a little bit, but if it was a left-handed batter, definitely would have been a different pitch compared to this. As he deals another ball, making the count 2-0. 2 outs, runners on second and third in the top of this 8th inning. He deals the next pitch. And this is also a ball. 3-0 count. Taggart's not too worried up in the box here, as this count is in his favor. But Navarre keeping in mind that this is not the last inning, that he has to make sure Washington is not able to score anything else before they get another chance later on in the night.
Finally deals a strike there after a few groans on the last 2 pitches from the Wolverines fans, thinking that catcher Noah Miller framed them well. The count is 3-1 with 2 outs, runners on second and third here in the top of this 8th inning. And that one is going to be another strike for Navarre, needing that making it a full count, again here against Kason Taggart, battling back after that 0-3 start.
Taggart doing a great job of protecting in this box, but he definitely needs to get more aggressive on his swings. He hasn't swung yet. But here he goes. Pitch is dealt. And it's a close call, but Taggart is going to be called out at first after running up on that ball from Turner at second base and scooping it right over to Ladhoff. Once again, giving Ladhoff a run for his money. Really not an opportunity for him to flash that leather, do a great job of making those stops, limiting Washington's destruction once again.
As you said, that was a great play by Turner over there at second. That one was pretty slow when it was hit towards him. He was able to make that play at first, ending the inning with only 2 runs scored for this Washington Huskies side. Wolverines gonna need to battle back again late. Nothing that they cannot handle, only down 2 runs here as we bring up the bottom of the 8th for this Wolverines side. At bat is going to be Noah Miller, the catcher for this Wolverines team.
Looking to do something here, at least get a couple base runners on. So that's really the key at this point in the game. It's not about getting big hits. It really is about just making sure get a couple runners on, get some scores, knock some runs in, and chip away at this Washington lead. Once again, Michigan has not scored since the first inning, and we're now in the bottom of the 8th inning as we're moving into the end of this game here. Michigan really has to find something to pull together some sort of win, or at least some sort of comeback to really prove that they are worthy of being in this NCAA tournament that they're fighting so hard to be in.
Exactly as you said, Amara. Learman coming back up to the plate for this Washington Huskies team, dealing only 13 pitches in his last inning. As I said, Noah Miller is going to be on the plate for this Wolverines team. Learman on the mound. The junior Noah Miller is 1 for 3 on the day, batting .296 on the season. As Learman looks to have another great inning for this Washington Huskies side. He deals far outside for ball 1.
A nice grab from Swidler behind the plate. Though there's no one on base, just really great way to splash that leather. As Learman deals again, and it is fouled back by Miller over and on top of the stands here, and then drops to the parking lot. Once again, hopefully not doing any damage to anyone's car, but a great way to really fight in this count here.
I completely agree. Washington Huskies looks like they have 2 righties lining up in the bullpen after the left-handed pitcher, Learman, as that one is hit right in between the shortstop and the first baseman, going right past Learman for Noah Miller. Base hit, single, exactly what the Wolverines want to start off this inning. Bringing up the cleanup man, Braden Jeffries, at the 4 slot. The sophomore's 1 for 3 on the day, batting .333 on the season.
Like I said earlier, just making sure they're chipping away, getting those small hits, those small hits lead to big victories. That's exactly what we saw here. Great job by Miller to go straight right up the middle between that gap that we've been seeing all day, splitting that infield and forcing the outfielders to come in, and then allowing him enough time to get all the way around first. As Learman deals, and it's going to be fouled off by Braden Jeffries, who's 1 for 3 on the day. He had that beautiful RBI double earlier that scored the lone run for Michigan in the first inning. Learman deals again, and it's called strike 2, right down the middle.
Third baseman for this Washington Huskies team, Blake Wilson, was pinched in. Now they're going to shift over on Wilson's call.
Wilson, once again, one of those hitters that typically will pull more towards that left side. So if he's able to go to the opposite side of the field with it, it's all day for him. And he does hit right into the shift. And they got one they did not get to. It's a pass ball from the first baseman, as Taggart is not able to haul that throw in. It's a bit of a wild throw from Sam DiCarlo from second. They were able to get that first out. Or excuse me, no, they were not able to get the first out there. They missed it, and they weren't even able to get the second out. So it is going to be no outs, and Michigan is going to have runners on the corners. That may not stand, though, as Washington and the umpires are doing a small meeting in the middle to decide what the outcome of this play will be. I don't know about you, Lexi, but I didn't see anything that really led me to look for this to be recalled. I thought the runner was out at second.
I completely agree. Not sure how Miller ended up on third here. Braden Jeffries making it safely to first after that errant throw towards first. Thought he was going to be out with the double play called here. Again, not sure how Miller ended up on third. Hopefully that'll stand for the Wolverines, as it would put a runner in scoring position. Don't think it will stand after this very short replay review by the umpires.
They're heading back out onto the fields, and the runner is going to be deemed out at second, so Miller is going to head back into that Michigan dugout. Not really sure what that replay was about or how Miller got to third, but Michigan still does have a base runner on at first with Jeffries, and bringing Cade Ladahoff up to bat.
Yeah, the first baseman coming up to bat after Jeffries got so lucky to make it to first. Ladahoff 0 for 3 on the day so far, averaging 248 on the season. And the first pitch is high and wide for ball 1. Count is 1-0, 1 out, runner on first in the bottom of the 8th. Wolverines looking to battle back again against the Washington Huskies.
Ladahoff being a right-handed batter, there is a slight shift on with only one player as he takes his next strike here, making the count 1-1 with 1 out. But as I was saying, there's a shift on, not as dramatic as they have had previously with left-handed batters, but only one lone man, the first baseman Taggart, the only one on that side of the field. Next pitch comes in, and it's called ball 2.
Yeah,
Making the count 2-1, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Washington 3, Michigan 1.
Wolverines weren't happy about that strike call just 2 pitches ago, but as Learman deals from the mound on pitch number 4 of the at-bat, Cade Ladahoff fouls that one back to make the count 2-2 with Jeffries on first.
Ladahoff, a batter that's really willing to battle and fight it out here and make this count tip back into his favor instead of having it a bit more evened out. An eruption again from Michigan softball.
As it looks like the game is over there, the Wolverines winning 9-8. As Ladahoff fouls another one back, staying alive here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Count is still 2-2.
That is correct. The Michigan softball team did just beat Indiana 9-8 after Aaron Hayne had a standout day on the mound and really did a great job at rocking in these Wolverines. As Ladahoff skies one far deep into center field, but it is once again hauled in by Mick Paul, who has been the dream crusher for Michigan today, alongside the wind.
Yeah, everything really seems to be going to Paul out there in center. Pretty easy play for him there, as we spoke about earlier. Not too much sun, a little bit of wind coming in Ann Arbor, but easy routine play from Paul out in center. Wolverines are finding their success, though, down that middle as Evan Hager comes up to the plate. Third baseman for the Washington Huskies, Blake Wilson, is pinched in, playing on the grass. As he hits that one and it goes over the shortstop, advancing runners, advancing Michigan. Hager's gonna slide in safe at second. And we're going to advance Braden Jeffries over to third there. Evan Hager a little bit shaken up on that one. Rough slide for him there.
Him sliding in head first on second isn't something typical that most players do, as they usually do try to do a pop-up slide and go feet first. He's getting checked on a little bit by some coaches to make sure that he's not going to be down for the count in this game. But a great hit.
Yeah, just over the shortstop. Sam DiCarlo on that one. A little bit too high for him there as he was running back, almost catching that one. For the Wolverines up to bat, it was going to be Josh Campbell, but taking a few swings for this Wolverine side is Carson Luna, number 15. He might come in as a pinch hitter here with 2 outs on the board. Wolverines really like to make their 2-out stands, as it does look like Carson Luna will come in for this Wolverines team, a redshirt freshman, averaging .230 on the season, as the Washington Huskies look to make a pitching change here.
That was a great job from Evan Hager previously, who was able to make it all the way around to second and use his speed to his advantage and really advance him and Jeffries all the way into scoring position, giving Michigan some sort of an upper hand here, and especially with switching up these batters, and hopefully they can make something out of this momentum that they've got going.
Liam Learman's day is done. The left-handed pitcher is going to come out. It looks like we are going to get a righty in here for this Washington Huskies team.
Carson Bosel coming in. right-handed pitcher for the Huskies, trying to shake something up and make this Michigan team get a little bit more off their game, as they've had some pretty good success these past few at-bats.
Wolverines batters having a talk with their coaching staff while Carson is warming up on the mound for this Washington Huskies team, hoping he can get the final out to end the inning with runners in scoring position, runners on second and third for the Wolverines team after that double.
Yeah, once again, that Evan Hanger double, who was able to extend the double, using that speed once again, as I said earlier, using that speed to his advantage and really pushing him and Jeffries in that scoring position.
Yes, Wolverines need to get something going here with 2-out rally, hopefully for them. This is what they've done best over the past 2 days. I continue to say this. They can come back late. That's not something they should be worried about. Hopefully they can do it again here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
That's a very typical pattern for not just Michigan baseball, but all Michigan sports. I feel like they give you a little bit of a heart attack in the beginning, but then as the game progresses on, they really do try to show their true colors as best as they can. And as we're going to have also some pinch runners coming in for Jeffries and Hager here.
Just waiting to get word on who those are.
Carson Luna is 100% going to be up at bat in place for Josh Campbell. He awaits the pitch from Bossel, and it's ball outside, way outside, but a great job once again by Swagler behind the plate to haul that in and stop anyone from even going, because as soon as he turns his back, that's a free bag for Michigan. They are right back in this game. Beautiful contact from Luna there, but an easy scoop for Taggart from the throw from Sam DiCarlo all the way at shortstop to get that final out and end Michigan's inning.
As you said, ending the Wolverine. Slight glimmer of hope there. Wolverine going to bring in number 22 again, Wyatt Amara, coming in to hopefully end the top of the 9th. Wolverines still having a lot of work to do if they want to come back and win. A little bit of deja vu from yesterday's game. A little bit lower score. Wolverines still down going into the 9th. See what they can do here, as Jackson Hotchkiss is going to be up for this Washington Huskies team. The top of the lineup, right where they want it to be. The sophomore is 1 and 4 on the day, averaging .352. And then Sam DiCarlo will be up next. Rounding out the top 3 will be Blake Wilson. All 3 right-handed batters going to be facing Wyatt Navarra, the left-handed pitcher.
Navarra once again trying to show his athleticism and the diversity that he really has on the mound, and trying to make sure that everyone on this Michigan team is aware that they are all here for the same thing, and that is to punch their ticket once again to this NCAA tournament. Washington, though, has a bit of a different goal. Like I said earlier, they're just trying to get back up to that 500 mark in conference play, and hopefully they, make their mark as a Big Ten team, as they did just enter the conference 2 years ago.
Looking at the stats a little bit, as we said, it's 3-1 in favor of the Washington Huskies. Huskies having 5 hits, 1 error on the day so far. Wolverines with 6 hits and 2 errors. Colby Turner now playing left field from second base, and Carson Luna is going to remain in the game at second base for the Wolverines. 2 defensive switches here late in this game, with Jackson Hotchkiss coming up to bat for this Washington Huskies team. Hotchkiss taking the batter's box, standing up pretty tall here, as the first pitch is high and wide for ball 1. As I said, Hotchkiss standing up really tall, decently back in the batter's box with a pretty neutral stance. Wolverines playing pretty straight up here against him. Pitch 2 is dealt, and that is going to be right down the middle for strike 1. 1-1 count on Jackson Hotchkiss.
Yeah, Hotchkiss, a player that really does want to have some sort of momentum going for Washington, because he is at the top of the lineup, and then after him, it is going to be the heart of their order. So getting him on base, Z fouls one off, counts now 1 and 2. So getting on base for him means more right now than it ever has in this game.
Yes, I completely agree with the 1-2 count. Wolverines do have one pitcher warming up in their bullpen. Looks like it could be a lefty as he deals his 4th pitch of the at-bat. Gonna be a 2-2 count here after that cutter on Jackson Hotchkiss.
Navarro just in this headspace as he deals.
Another one high and wide in the same spot as a pitch thrown earlier in this at-bat to make it a full count.
Hotchkiss really just trying to fight and protect in this batter's box as he knows the athleticism back there as he skies one straight back. And Miller is going to collide with the Washington dugout in an attempt to grab that ball as he comes down pretty hard there.
I was just about to say, glad he is okay after that one colliding with that Washington dugout, getting hit in the chest by the ball, unable to make the play. Didn't really expect him to. What a great effort, though, for him.
Yeah, definitely would have knocked the win. Definitely knocked the win out of him just a little bit here. He tries to regroup, and Navarro's going to deal his next pitch of the at-bat. Again, it's a full count, no outs. With Hotchkiss up to bat, he deals, and it's strike 3. Hotchkiss is down swinging. Great job from Navarro to really come back here and make sure that each player on this team is doing their job. Once again, great effort by Miller in attempting to stop that ball.
Looks like we're gonna have a meeting though with the pitcher. That might have been Navarro's last batter of the day. Wolverines looking to bring in that closer, down 3-1 in the top of the 9th.
If I'm Michigan here, I'm not really sure if I'm looking to bring in a closer after Navarro's performance, though he did let up those 2 runs last inning. I think that last at-bat really did prove his ability to finish this game strong. But in for number 22, Wyatt Navarro is going to be number 2 on this, or excuse me, number 34 on this Michigan team once again.
Michael Caden's coming in again for this Wolverines team. He found so much success in yesterday's game against the Washington Huskies, bringing in another lefty. Caden's the sophomore from Stockton, California.
It's a lot of West Coasters here on this Michigan team.
Caden's, as I said earlier, did find a lot of success yesterday. Exciting to see him back in this game for the Wolverines under similar circumstances to what he faced yesterday, down again. But Quedens can make it happen as he is going to face the heart, as you said, of this Washington Huskies lineup. Sam DiCarlo at the 2 spot.
Caden's, though, with a 1.29 ERA. One of the lowest on this team, and he has 1 win on the season, no losses. With 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, and only 3 hits.
I think this is a great bring-in for this Michigan Wolverines team. Quedens was so good, as I continue to say. Hopefully he can finish out this inning, and the Wolverines batters have a lot of work to do in the bottom of that 9th.
Oh yeah, if they want to catch up and hopefully at least ride Washington coattails, possibly go into an extra inning situation, Michigan needs to do what they can at all costs, making sure they're making no mistakes right now. There's only 1 out for the inning. Once again, Michigan with 1, Washington 3, and the top of the 9th inning. This is game 2 of this series after Michigan just won the first one yesterday. And they're looking to get another win here to clinch the series win as a whole. But if not, Washington is looking to get back up to 500 in conference play. It's being a newbie to the Big Ten.
Sam DiCarlo 0 for 4 on the day so far, batting .293 on the season. A little bit more of a power hitter for this Washington Huskies team, having 5 home runs on the season, 26 RBIs, and 10 doubles, 3 triples. Quedens deals, and it is rocketed in between the gap at second and short, and DiCarlo takes his base.
It's a great hit by DiCarlo. Once again, like as we've been saying this whole time, is that middle section of the field on both sides of the ball for Washington and for Michigan has been that sweet spot that every player has had success with. If they can get it through there, you're getting at least a first and maybe even a couple extra bags as well.
Now, when you want to see from your first pitch of the outing for Quedens, but Blake Wilson steps into the batter's box, 2 for 3 on the day so far, averaging .305 on the season. The junior is looking to get something going with 1 out, 1 runner on, 0-1 count here in the top of the 9th inning.
Caden steals, and it is called ball high. After his first pitch was called a strike, it looked to be a little inside from our view up here. Blake Wilson turning away from it, a little shy, getting towards that ball, but he steps back up to the plate, deals again, and it's skied high into center field, and it is called off by Hager as he hauls it in for out number 2 of the day.
Easy play by Evan Hager in center. Quedens getting that second out. Easy pop up to center field. 1 runner on the base still. Runner at first. Gonna bring up Ty Cowan. The senior's 0 for 2 on the day so far, averaging .250 on the season. Only 15 RBIs, 8 doubles, 0 homers on the year so far for Cowan.
Cowan, though, is a threat on the bases as he is one of the smaller guys on the team, but he is somebody who's faster. So Michigan is definitely going to be weary of him as he's up to bat. Though they do have this 2-out advantage right now, Michigan still needs to realize that there is a runner on first, and Sam DiCarlo is not scared of being aggressive on this base path.
As you just said, they have to be aware of Sam DiCarlo at first. Quedens did just attempt to pick off, was unsuccessful, as that one is low and going to be called for ball 1. 1-0 count on Ty Cowan. Quedens, the lefty, aware of DiCarlo at first, right in his sight line, as that one is going to be outside and low for ball 2. 2-0 count, 2 outs, runner on first, top of the 9th. Wolverines down 3-1 to this Washington Huskies team.
Something that left-hand pitchers do have that advantage of. I think it's much more useful to be able to see that runner at first. As Cowan skies one to center field, but it's hauled in again by Hager to end the top half of this inning. Once again, Washington with 3, Michigan 1, and we are going to enter the bottom of the 9th here. Michigan trying to pull one last Hail Mary in hopes of getting this win here and securing the series win and clinching their ticket, hopefully, to the greatest show on dirt.
Good outing by Michael Quedens today. 1 runner did get on with that 1 hit, but he was able to close out the inning to bring us to the bottom of the 9th. Deja vu, as I just said, from yesterday. Wolverines going into the bottom of the 9th down. Let's see if they can get anything going. Greg Pace Jr. will be up to bat for the Wolverines team. No outings so far on the, no at-bats, today. Batting .250 on the season. Then it's going to be Drew Culbertson and Jun Sung Park for the Wolverines. 3 right-handed batters in a row. Let's see if the Wolverines are able to get anything going.
Yes, up to bat for Michigan is going to be number 3, Greg Pace. But it actually looks like he might be replaced by a pinch hitter here, as we'll see who this will be.
Wouldn't be surprised at that decision. It's going to be Brendan Stresser, it looks like, for the Wolverines. Greg Pace struggling a little bit at the plate recently. Stresser, the junior from Illinois, batting .233 on the season. going to be facing Carson Russell again, coming out after throwing only 2 pitches last time. Let's see what he can do.
Bossel had a great inning Bossel had a great showing last inning. By limiting Michigan, no one was able to get on no one was able to score after a couple runners were on. But here we go. We'll see how he matches up to this new Michigan look on offense. As we said, Brendan Stressler, the pinch hitter, coming in place of Greg Pace.
The lefty against the righty. As Bossel deals the first, Stressler fouls it back. 0-1 count.
Solid contact from Stressler, though that ball was sky high straight back. Great contact, and really shows that he has some power and ability on this team to really add to Michigan's tally here. And he is going to take his next pitch and swing, and it's going to be called strike 2.
The shift is on for the Washington Huskies. Third baseman Blake Wilson was pinched and now moving out back, leaving a lot of room down that third base sideline if Stressler is able to go opposite. And that one is going to be out wide, taken for ball 1, 1-2 count, 0 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Washington not happy with that call. It did look like it would have been called a strike, but to Michigan's advantage, he holds on for another life. And here's the pitch, and it is a low ball. And as the Washington catcher, Ethan Swigler, tries to tag Stressler out, he thought he went around, but he is not going to be called out. The count is now 2-2 with no outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Looks like the on-deck Drew Culbertson for this Wolverines is going to be hit for by Matthew Ossenfort as Brendan Stressler works a full count. That one is going to be high for ball number 3. 3-2 count on Stressler. He needs to get on base for this Wolverines team.
Stressler here in a high-stress situation. I have a play on words with his name as he takes the next pitch, and it is going to be in play for a single, sky high and out towards right fielder Aiden Doherty. And Stressler's going to be on base to give Michigan their first glimpse of hope in this inning.
Doherty doing a good job keeping that in front of him, hit right in front of him, not allowing Stressler to get to second. Stressler will stay at first, and as I said earlier, it looks like Drew Culbertson is going to be pinch hit for by Matthew Ossenfort. The junior is batting .235 on the season so far, coming in late in this game, needing to get something going. Tying run is going to come up to the plate now for this Wolverines team.
Ossenfort with 19 hits on the season, but with 12 runs and 6 RBIs. So everyone on this Michigan team is really trying to play in this favor here and make sure that Michigan is doing all that they can to add on to their runs here and take away from Washington's lead.
Washington Huskies going to bring in a closer here. It looks like it's going to be another right-hander for the Huskies trying to close out this game, with the tying run coming up to the plate right now for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yes, the tying run coming up to plate here. Though there's only one runner on first, Stressler is going to be a threat on the bases. He's a smart base runner. He's going to be able to know this path. He's been studying this game for the past 8.5 innings, and he's prepared and ready to be in a situation like this. That's exactly why Michigan knew who to call in, and the best person to call in this situation would be Stressler.
Bryce Johnson is going to come in for this Washington Huskies team. The sophomore is a transfer from Oregon State, a redshirt sophomore, redshirted his freshman year at Oregon State. So far this year, he's made 11 appearances, including 2 starts, has a 5.59 ERA, 24 strikeouts, and earned his first save throwing 2 innings against San Diego State with 2 hits allowed shutout and 2 strikeouts on March 2nd. The righty coming in to try and close out this game for the Washington Huskies, who are up 3-1 in the bottom of the 9th on the Michigan Wolverines. Taking a little look at the stats, Wolverines have 7 hits on the day, 2 errors, whereas the Washington Huskies have 6 hits, 1 error on the day.
Johnson here trying to close out this game and make sure that Washington does not let any more Michigan players get on base or score at all. As Let's Go Blue Chants start to fill the crowd, we are ready to get going with Matthew Austinford taking the plate.
Wolverines look like it's going to be, they're going to pinch hit their last 3 runners. Wait, excuse me, last 3 batters as Austinford comes up to the plate, doing some part on deck. The tying run is now at the plate for this Michigan Wolverines team with Brendan Stressler on first base. 33% in his stolen base attempts. Wouldn't feel too worried about him at first right now, but taking a decent size lead as the shift is going to be on for Austinford.
Austinford here waiting for this pitch as the pitch clock is winding down. And as expected, Stressler did take second base. He was off as soon as the pitch left Johnson's fingers, and he is now safe at second. Not even a throw from catcher or a look back from Johnson, as they know that in this situation, that's not the person they should be worried about right now. As he nears this base path and now he's in scoring position, he is a threat.
Big swing for Austinford there. 1-1 count, 0 out, runner on second.
Austinford trying to advance Stressler any further as he can. Stressler taking a smaller lead off the second base, or he did on first, as Austinford does end up pulling that back, and it's going to be foul towards the Washington dugout.
We'd love to see a bunt here down that first base side with the first baseman. Everyone playing pretty far back here for this Washington Huskies team. The shift is on. The third baseman, looks like it's actually Ty Cowan over there, but he is going to be, he was further for the Washington Huskies team, unable to make the play at first. And runner advances to third. That is going to be an infield single for Austinford. Runners on the corners, runners on first and third. Up to the plate now is Jun-Sung Park, the hero of the day yesterday. Let's see if he can do it again for this Wolverines team. Having that walk-off double, this is the exact person you want to be up to bat with down 2 in the bottom of the 9th.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well. And I do want to note Stressler's extremely smart base running once again took off as soon as the pitch crossed the plate, and he was at third before Wilson could even make a decision on what to do with that ball.
Everyone up in the dugout for this Michigan Wolverines side. Hoping Park can play hero again here.
O'Hearn taking a small lead off first, is similarly as Stressler off third, as Park looking for another signal from his coach to see what he should swing and hold. And checking his wristband here, getting rid of the old hand signs, but maybe he's switching out his watch.
Yes, as you said, on first base, it actually looks like the Wolverines are going to pinch run Keegan O'Hearn here. He is taking a very small lead there for the Wolverines, as Washington pitcher Johnson is a little bit weary of him. O'Hearn hasn't had any stolen bases on the season. Hopefully he can get his first one here. Make it a little bit easier for Jun-Sung Park. Any contact would then pretty much score either. Wouldn't mind seeing a bunt here from Park, hopefully to advance. O'Hearn to second, maybe get him safe, load the bases up. Not sure what he's gonna do.
A bunt here would be interesting, especially having such speed down at third base with Stressler. I don't know if it would be the best move for Michigan Michigan, but it definitely is an option that they do have here, especially with Park's athleticism and baseball IQ being so high. And Johnson is going to deal the pitch. And Park takes a shot, and it is not caught by Hotchkiss. And 2 runners are going to score, and it's a 2-run double from Park. We have tied the score here in Ann Arbor, 3-3. Washington and Michigan are officially tied here in the bottom of the 9th inning. No outs, 1 runner on second. This is definitely the most high-energy moment of the game. Lexi, how do you feel?
Oh my goodness, Jung-Sung Park again playing the hero for this Wolverines team. Basically deja vu from yesterday. What a hard hit ball. That was incredible for the Wolverines. Park is going to advance to second, scoring 2 runners, tying this game up here. What a past 2 days it has been for Park. I have no words for him. Wow.
Yeah, especially since you called the game yesterday. How do you think this is going to shape out, especially knowing that Washington sees what Park has done, sees what he can do clearly, and with Colby Turner up to bat, he has a hit on the day. No runs yet, but he's definitely going to be a threat for this Washington team. What do you see?
Just got word that ball was hit 108 miles per hour off of the end of Park's bat. What a hit for him. Was hoping that one could have gone. Thought it almost had the distance. Wasn't able to. Ended up in a double instead. Colby Turner up to bat. Not sure what's going on here. Looks like they might walk him. Great move by this Washington Huskies team. Colby Turner almost hitting 400 on the season right now, sitting at 398. Smart move by them.
That is the exact batter that I would want to have up to bat, though, in this situation if I was Michigan. Instead, up to bat next is going to be Noah Miller, the catcher, who's 2 for 4 on the day.
I know, this is the perfect part of the lineup for the Wolverines.
Great way. It's a great way for Michigan to have their heart of the order up, especially in this situation here. Washington going to call another meeting on the mound. They're not sure what to do here. This is Michigan's real first spark of the game, honestly. And it's been really incredible to watch here. It's definitely high pressure and high energy up in the stadium tonight.
I completely agree. This is incredible here for the Wolverines, battling back late again in the 9th inning for them. As you said, another meeting for the Washington Huskies at the mound. Not what they want to see right in the heart of this Wolverines lineup. As you said, Noah Miller is 2 for 4 on the day. Not sure if I would rather see him or Colby Turner at the plate. Would probably rather see Miller if I am Bryce Johnson, just given that he has been so good on the year. Noah Miller still hitting over 300, hitting 302. Would then bring up Braden Jeffries, who's hitting 331. Not the best spot to be in for the Washington Huskies pitcher.
Definitely not for the Huskies, but this is a huge advantage for Michigan. This is the most momentum they've had all game, and they have everyone in these stands on their side. It is flooded with maize and blue here as everyone's on their feet, cheering and clapping. The pitch is dealt, and it is going to be a ball 1. Once again, there are no outs here. The count is 1-0. It is now tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Michigan has 2 runners on with 1 in scoring position, the other on first base.
Miller showing bunt on that first pitch, taking it for a ball. Pitch number 2 is dealt. He lays a bunt down the first base line, just foul. I think that's a great call here, hoping to advance the runners there.
Oh, for sure. I think that bunt, if Taggart had just run up on it maybe 10, maybe 20 inches earlier, Miller would have a great shot at advancing those runners, but instead he has more time now to regroup and think about what he can do for his next at-bat now.
Now at first, Jason Taggart for this Washington Huskies team, pinching in a little bit after 2 shown bunts for Noah Miller. Runners on first and second for this Wolverines team. Count is 1-1. Showing bunt again, down the first baseline, advancing the runners. Miller not even running towards
Smart
first.
move by Miller. It's great base running. Great play calling from this Michigan team. and a great job by head coach Tracy Smith to make sure she's calling these plays at the right time. Michigan's still only with 1 out, so if they are able to extend their leads, if they are able to tack on a couple extra runs here, they will not go into extra innings. But in case they do up for Washington next would be Doherty, Draper, and Paul, which is not the people that I would want to see if I was Michigan.
Everyone pinching in for this Washington Huskies team, outfield in, infield in, shifted, and they're going to walk Jeffries, it looks like. That is the right move. Jeffries hitting .331 on the year so far. He had that double in the first, which led to the first run of the game for Michigan. Exact right call by the Washington Huskies team. I would walk Jeffries too. He's been so good. Gonna bring up the first baseman, Cade Ladimoff. 0 for 4 on the day, but batting .246 on the year. Bases loaded, 1 out. Everyone's still in for this Washington Huskies team. Shifted towards the third base side. Everyone playing on the grass. Outfielders in, bases loaded. What an electric moment for this Wolverines.
Truly, and a sac fly could end it all here, as that first pitch is going to be called ball 1 as it is inside. Ledhoff backs off a little bit as he's scared he might get hit by the pitch. But it's a great job by Johnson to really battle off here as the Go Blue chants are erupting.
Yeah.
Let's go Cade as well, erupting from the bench, and Ledhoff fouls that one off towards the Michigan dugout. Everyone is on their feet and ready to jump over those fences as soon as this game is over.
Yes, as you said, electric moment here. Shift still on, everyone pinched in, even the outfielders, as Ladderhoff was able to make contact on that last pitch. Count is 1-1, 1 out, bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, game is tied, and Ladderhoff takes a strike, swinging 1-2 count. Not what you want to see for the Wolverines. As you said, any contact could really score a runner here.
If Ladhoff is able to even get the ball past the infield, it's lights out, it's good night, go Blue, go Michigan. You've won the game.
And
Ladhoff skies it over, and it is going to be a win for Michigan. Hail to the victor's start as Michigan runs the bases with the rest of their team. This was a great game. What a way to end this game. Lexi, what did you see that surprised you today? What did you see that was shocking as they're pouring Gatorade on their coaches and the team is falling on one another?
I mean, Ladderhoff absolutely mauled towards that left field, hitting a great walk-off double to end this one here with the bases loaded, exactly what he needed to do. Wolverines have proved they can battle back against this Washington Huskies team. Heartbreak for the Huskies here again. Late Wolverines notching 3 runs to end the game and win 4-3. Wolverines looking to sweep the Huskies tomorrow as it is Cup night here in Ann Arbor. This is such a great momentum for the Wolverines.
Truly.
So exciting for them to be able to battle back again in the 9th inning. I mean, Jung-Sung Park, what a hit for him right before, and these Wolverines bats hitting so well late in games.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that this 9th inning here was the only time that I really saw Michigan come together as a cohesive unit and really string together those hits to lead to their success. As you said, that one hit from Jin-Sun Park, beautiful way to kick off this momentum shift in their favor here, as Michigan's going to head back into their dugout and hopefully wait until their decision as the fans await for them on top of the dugout. Let's go Blue. Hail to the victor's chance as they are heading back in. Any final thoughts here as we close out tonight?
It would be really great for the Wolverines to sweep the Huskies tomorrow, which would be only their 2nd sweep in Big Ten play, but they really do need this one. Wolverines bats hitting so well. They should go into tomorrow with confidence. Would love to see them go up early again and be able to hang on to that lead. This time, instead of having to battle back late, as we've seen 2 days in a row so far, Washington Huskies going to come back with some fire tomorrow after heartbreak for them. And let's see what happens. I'm really excited for tomorrow's game. And Wolverines playing so well so far, and hopefully, as I said, this will just give them extra boost of confidence going into tomorrow and just build the team chemistry that much more.
I don't think I could have wrapped it up better myself. Once again, the final score of today's game, Washington 3, Michigan 4. Once again, I'm Amara, Okoro, and I've been here with Lexi Gordon, and we're going to leave you with, as we do always, with a good night and go blue.